Do I look enthused to be here? Yeah, 12 o'clock. Had to be up early to go pick David's vehicle up from the mechanic. Now I've got his lunch simmering on the stove. I got a Temu bag in yesterday. I didn't even want to look at it. But I figure I might as well get it out of the way because I got to do some picking up and cleaning this evening. So let's do the world's quickest Temu haul. And I'll leave it here for y'all to see whenever Ian's wander through. It's not the smallest bag, but it's not the biggest bag. Got a bunch of crap out, but Temu doesn't seem to be delivering very good right now. Getting a lot of $5 late deliveries. Hi, Gypsy. And if you're getting partial orders late and you're not getting your $5, then go to customer service and chat and say, the contract says if my order doesn't arrive by this date, I will get $5. Not partial order, order, which means completion. And they'll go, oh, and they'll give you your $5 back, even on the partial orders, because the contract was your order will arrive. They did not delineate partial. Therefore, you must determine it means complete. Words, important things. People don't understand that. Words are important things. I heard my husband say some words last night I'd never heard him say. I was very proud of him. He was very mad. Me, I've gone back in parole officer mode. Nothing any stupid person does surprises me. Every person that walks the earth is a moron. I pretty much expect moronic idiocy from everyone and illegal shit. So I'm pretty much just rolling fine again because people are dicks. And I used to have to babysit them all. Even if I stay in my home, I'm going to run across one or two. Seems like my children marry all of them. So I'm okay. I've walked murder scenes and had to say you need to take the brain matter off your ceiling. I'm okay. Dave, on the other hand. Ooh. It's not that someone disrespected me because he's like, you fight your own battles. It's like the fact that they put you with your health in another compromised position and didn't give a crap. He said, and here we have been worried sick about doing everything we can to help them because my daughter's been in a compromised position. And he said, and then here they go and just try to kill you. I've already had one mild heart attack. I almost had another. So I've just decided to stop caring about people. They're all morons. Unless I see you personally, don't really care about you. I'm sorry. I have to compartmentalize to get through this because I just can't tolerate stupid people. I really can't tolerate stupid people. Dave's very tore up. Dave's planning a conversation. I don't want to hear that conversation because I've never seen my husband this upset. Because his line of thinking is if someone was stupid enough to treat me that way and I'm the mother of their wife, how are they treating their wife, which is his daughter? And they can play the genealogy game all they want to, but by Tennessee state law, they are David's children. So David is not a happy man right now. Now, he ain't going to start nothing. But if something gets started, I'd say he'd probably end it real quick. He's not in a good mood right now. He's not in a good mood at all. I saw this. It is a razor. You stick it in your nose. It cuts your nose hairs. I'm sure in a pinch it could be used as a weapon too. This is my mode of thinking right now. Sorry. But you stick it in your nose and cut your nose hairs. I got this particularly for David because he hates the nose hair trimmer. I don't know why. It's like my dog is scared of the washing machine. I have no idea why. So I got this for my husband because you just stick it in your nose and you twist it. It doesn't make any noises and it doesn't make, So surely Mr. 6 foot, 260 pound Grizzly Adams will be okay with sticking this up his nose and cutting his nose hairs. That's I'm hoping. So that's why I got that. These are actually really cheap, and you can get little replacement blades if you get certain kinds. I'm not sure if this is one of or not, but they have some that are really nice. But this is just like a cheap throwaway. Let me see if he'll like it, and if he does, then we'll gravitate toward the nicer ones. I've got a trimmer today, and I don't know if it's because I'm really just at a rage point of infinity or if my disorder is trying to come out. I say they're probably connected, but that's okay. You know, at least let's look on the bright side. I'm feeling good enough to be mad. For 7 or 8 years, I didn't have enough energy to be mad. Let's find the bright side. I have enough energy to be mad. Oh, am I mad? I'm madder than the time I had to write a 17-page warrant over a man's stupidity. He robbed the store. Why did the man? Now this is funny. Y'all will get a kick out of this. I'm a retired parole officer. He robbed the store. Thought he'd get away with it. He forgot one little minor issue. He had irritable bowel syndrome. Horrible. Nervous stomach like none other. He really picked the wrong line. Like criminal intent was not the right line of, it was not career option here. He should have thought better. And he robbed like a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that. He was so upset and anxious after committing the burglary. He got caught because he had to duck in an alley, drop his drawers, and poop. So not only did he get caught for burglary, then he got an indecent exposure. And I had to do a warrant. I had to go and serve it in him in the jail. And I said, what did you steal? And I forget what I said. And I said, you know, I said, if you do this again, I'm thinking of one more item you need to grab. And he's like, what? And I'm like, Pepto. Buddy, you need some help. He went back to prison. He's actually out doing really well now, and thanks me because he's like, you're the first person who sat down and talked to me like somebody. And he said, I get to be a father to my child now because of you. I call him Pepto-Bismol. It works. I got more lights. Literally, I've had 3 strings die, and it's because I don't use the remotes. And it's not that I don't want to use the remotes, is that sometimes they get behind my big thick curtains and the remotes don't want to work. And so if I'm going to have to bend down and point the remote, normally I just push the button. But you will break these little necks on these if you do that. So always use your remotes. So I've learned my lesson. I've had to repurchase and rebuy all these for all my windows. I've learned my lesson. So remotes from now on. I will be pushing buttons. I got some more of those weird cat's eye nails that are funky colors. What is today? Is it Valentine's Day? I don't even know. I don't care. I'm wearing red though. Did I get it right? I don't really know what time. These are nails. I have 5,000 pairs. That's where I am today. That's where I am. Let's see here. What is this? Oh, it's a pocketbook. It has a dust cover. It has Chinese symbols on it. Probably says F you, and they just put it on there to make us think they're saying nice things. Let's see. I got it because I needed a bigger crossbody. Looks nice. Doesn't smell like super plastic. Actually feels like it might possibly be leather. Has a zipper on the back. Has a strap for a crossbody. Has a front pouch. Styrofoam. Has a zipper down here. Has a place to hook your carabiner if you hook your keys on carabiners like most rednecks do. Does it have 1 pocket or 2 inside? 1 pocket or 2? Oh, well, it's almost open. Hang on. Okay. 1 pocket inside, but it does have a little tiny zipper pocket on the inside. So, crossbody leather purse. I'll take it to the bedroom later. Dust bag? Heck no. I ain't never had anything with a dust bag my whole life. Okay, see what's in here. Solar lights. What was my thought behind that? Oh, yes. I had some on the fence go dead because some little peckerhead won't stop messing with them. And when I find out who you are, we're going to have problems. So, had to buy another set of lights. I got a second one because I figured he's going to do it again. Anybody got an electric fence box by tomorrow? Thinking I could stop that problem real quick. Okay, let's see what's in this bag. Oh, imagine that. More lights. I can illuminate everything except for my children's brains. Empty bag. What's in this? Oh, this is a little, good God, the top is huge. This is a little off the shoulder. Good God, this thing's huge. Okay, get a size down. Off the shoulder, bikini top, ruffle top with tropical bottoms. Sorry, I'm a fat girl, but I have my own pool in the backyard. And if you pass the fence, the gate, the fence, the driveway, the house, and you come in my backyard when I'm in the pool, you deserve to go blind. That's kind of how I live my life. These are actually really cute, though. These are actually really cute. They don't look like they're going to be too cheeky. I don't know what it is about showing your ass. Everybody wants to do it, either in clothes or in real life. So, there's a real nice bedsuit. Take it to the bedroom, too. This has been the world's quickest Temu haul. Not in the best mood today, but I showed you what I got. Everybody having a great day? Good. Buy your loved one flowers that cost $3 that are going to live 3 days. Yeah, $3 a piece. Do you know what they're going for at Walmart? 11's going for $26. Do you know how many orchids are going for $25, $28? A snake plant is $14.97. And people are packing them out like money's just nothing. And these women are literally going to put them in a vase and look at it for 3 days and go, oh, he loves me. And then they're going to die and they're going to throw them away. And I'm sitting there going, that's a waste of $28. You could have bought so many more groceries or something else, or even, heck, a decent piece of jewelry. Well, they're packing off flyers. I ain't never figured that one out my whole life. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of things. Perhaps I'm just not romantic enough. I blame it on the man that ripped my uterus out when I was 30 because I had a disorder. Can I do that? I can blame it on him. He's retired now. Yeah, that's where I am today. I have no estrogen in my system. I only have testosterone. So y'all can imagine how I'm composting all this that I've gone through. Yeah, that's where I am today. I'm pretty numb. Yeah. On the plus side, I think my bonus child's going to come see me because I have a gift for him. I can't actually count on my bonus children to come by and make me happy. So my bonus child's going to come by and see me today. I have a gift for him. I haven't checked the emails to see if we have a winner. Oh, I hate getting flowers. They die. I don't know. I'd rather grow them. I see no use in. I think I cut one or two bouquets out of my garden last year. I just can't do it. I have too many birds that need them. The birds need the seed and the nectar, and other animals actually eat the stalks and the petals, and I'm like, I can't do it. So I'd rather grow them. But my favorite Valentine's Day gifts when we were newly married and I was functioning, my legs worked, and I was out in the woods and riding horses and stuff. I got a horse one year. That was nice. That was a really nice gift. Tack. Smell of leather makes me happier than none other. Drop a couple bag of general livestock feed in the tack room. That made me happier than anything because, kind of sucked. I always have to buy it myself. I got a really nice Western bit one year. That was really nice. Got me a show halter one year. That was really nice. What else did he got me? He's got me guns through the year. That was really nice. He's got me some nice knives. But since I've been sick, we don't. What do you buy a sick person? He obviously didn't know because the Valentine gift stopped. He didn't know how to celebrate anything because I was sick. So, I don't know. I don't really care for Valentine's Day, to be quite honest. Every time I hear Valentine's, I think of the Valentine's Day Massacre. And so I completely we're celebrating today. Not millions, but a lot of people died for stupidity. I don't know. I'm just not in the best of moods today. So, I got solar lights. I'm getting ready for summer. Got a pocketbook. First pocketbook I've ever bought on Temu. It's okay. I mean, it's the same quality I got at Walmart, so I'm okay. I'm fine with that. That's about it. If it warms up later, I'm going to open the windows so I can do some resin work. David got his vehicle back, so he's gone to reset his snares. And I'm hoping there's been some coyote movement. because I'm going to go with him in the morning. I need a day out of this house. I did actually get to drive to the mechanics to pick up the vehicle today, so I got to drive a whole 2 miles. Freedom. So that's where I am. I've been up since 4 a.m. Lovely. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be making much content for a while. Might open Temu bags, but honestly, don't think I'm going to be the best hostess for a while. So I think we'll probably ditch YouTube for a while. Unless my friend gets here and I really perk up. I know I've got to do an interview with her because I've got stuff that people need to hear. So I'm going to do the interview with her that we've been trying to do for 3 months because winter hates us both. So we're going to do an interview that everybody should hear, everybody should listen to. But just like as far as YouTube, if there were a troll that popped in today, y'all would learn phrases you don't need to hear. I'm not in a good mood. So I'm going to calm down. Hopefully my husband will calm down. And I'm going to clean my house and spend time with my friends. And just to avoid the general population of the earth. It's where I am right now, y'all. It's where I am. I will say, though, that beyond what everybody thinks, when my daughter does have her children, I will be tattooing their names on me as well. And if someone would like to come remove them from myself, that can be arranged. So that's where I am. Not in a good mood. Not in a good mood. I'm in a very aware state. Backtracking and thinking most of the visits I had, we were just the Motel 6 and they spent all their time with everybody else. That should have been a hint. No. Yeah, you think, well, they're adults now. They have to go visit people. And then you realize the one day that they actually spent here, he was drunk off his mind. I make excuses for people. I'm like, oh, he's celebrating. She graduated from college. He's celebrating. I knew better. I always hope the best for people. Sorry, I opened a package earlier. Had something stuck in my tooth. Sorry. I always hope the best for people, but I don't know. Never works out. Now, convicted felons, I have a lot of faith in. They get like prison really teaches them a lesson. But just like general people that are just giant turds, very little faith in. So that's where I'm at. So my only hope at redemption is that I can find somebody that can use over $150 worth of baby stuff. So if you know anybody that's pregnant or just had a newborn, I've got boy and girl stuff. Got over $150 crammed into a beautiful basket with bows and pretties. If I just get one response, I'll mail the whole darn thing to you. You can have it. I just want somebody to use it that will appreciate it. That's the silver lining I'm looking for. I can help somebody benefit from this crapshoot. What else did I do today? Oh, I threw away some carvings. You know, the ones that were ring, ring, ring. I threw away some carvings. Yeah. I'm cleansing possibly my heart and my soul, but I'm also cleansing my house of anything that reminds me of anything that has ever disrespected me. I may not have much left in this house when it gets done, to be quite honest, but that's okay. We're starting over. I'll look for women's like clubs or group things to do in the area. All there is knitting or crocheting. To me, that's a weapon in your hand, so I probably don't need to go there. So maybe somebody. I'll check the emails later. I checked them at like 4 a.m. and I hadn't had anybody, but maybe somebody will. I can always take it up here And Cindy, that I write stories for the newspaper sometimes, she runs a hope center where she helps people. And I know that she'll find somebody that needs it. But they have so much here. And so I was just hoping to bless somebody that was in a pickle that maybe don't have, maybe doesn't have a outreach program in their area. And sometimes, kismet happens and somebody meanders through a YouTube video and finds something they need. So it's happened before to me, so I try to help people. But I don't know. I feel like it's one of those days when I had one of the guys that like popped up on TV as the most wanted when I watched the news, and I had to go back to the office and do an emergency warrant. And I was just waiting for the altercation with him to tell him how irritated I was that I had to go home just to turn around after seeing his goddamn face on the mother freaking news and deal with 50,000 pieces of paper. Because he just had to be a giant piece of turd. That's it. I feel like I'm waiting to have that talk with an offender that really screwed up. And it's like, you get ready, you get your headset and you get ready to walk in and rip somebody a new asshole because you're hoping that they'll straighten their life up and become something later. That's what I feel like I'm preparing for. I was a very good officer. I shouldn't have to act like one in my family. That's what I feel like this morning. Can I help you? It depends on what you want help with. And oh my God, if it's a stupid question, you're going to catch so much heck. Like, my level of done is, it's on the 7th layer of hell this morning. So be very careful. Ask for appropriate things. Yeah, I like your cell phone in prison. Tell your butt buddy you dropped the soap again. He'll let you use it for 5 more minutes tomorrow. Kick him out. Stupid people of the world. Okay, yet another example of why I'm just not a society person. I've literally ran across more ethical behavior in whorehouses than what I've seen in government offices. Let's just be honest. Okay, that was the Temu haul. Not exciting. The purse will come in handy because the other one's too small. Or maybe they just make our phones too goddamn big because they're trying to microwave our brains. I don't know. But anyway, I needed a bigger one because my phone wouldn't fit. So, crossbody purse is cute. Swimsuit, it'll come in handy when I get the pool going. Summer will be here soon. Flowers will be growing. I'll be in a better mood. Looking forward to a visit from a friend this weekend. I think that'll help me a lot. I don't know. Mary got a makeup bag the other day. It was really cute. Pretty much my motto of life right now. That's where I'm at. So, Mary, if you're still in here, I bought that bag. I'm thinking about actually getting a friend to do a vinyl of it to put it on a front door sign. Just to warn people before they knock. That's just where I'm. That's where I'm at. So, okay. 9:45, a whole 25 minutes. I got nothing to talk about. Have you ever seen me with nothing to talk about? No. Anything I say at this point, it's not going to be positive. So that was the Temu haul. If I come on later and I do acrylic work, I'm just going to point the camera down. I'm not really going to talk to anybody. I think Kim's coming by later. But she's pissed too. Ooh. So, just for future reference for anyone that has a son-in-law, when they decide to have children, if you think the names are cute, just don't say anything. Because anything you say will be wrong. And then you're a demonic spawn. And he will rip everything off the internet and cuss your friend. And then when you ask other people, is this normal behavior, he'll get mad because you didn't ask him. I'm not going to ask you if that's normal behavior because you're going to come up with a reason why. Oh, yeah, it is. I should be able to act like it. I'm not going to instigate a fight. I'm going to skirt and investigate. That's how we find stuff out in society. You know, before everybody put their crap on Facebook and social media and Instagram and pretended like life was all great and warm and fuzzy, you know, we actually talked to our neighbors and said, you know that guy? Who is he? How does he behave? Is he worth getting to know? Is he trustworthy? We pack something off if I ain't home. That's how you get to know people. That's you ask questions. But if you ask questions this day and time, you're a horrible person. You're a horrible person. Because you want to know something. You want to investigate somebody. You want to understand behavior. Is this repetitious behavior? Have you seen this behavior? Have you seen him act like that? Because I don't live there. You do. Have you seen this? Is this something that's normal? It's horrible for me to ask that. It's horrible for me to ask somebody if they have an aggression issue. And it's horrible for me to ask other people, have you seen him be aggressive before? Is this normal? I shouldn't be curious at all. No. I should just be completely fine that my daughter's in a home with a man that will verbally accost women on the internet. I'm just perfectly fine with that. Yeah. And then his choice above me, someone that used to be an officer of the law, has a master's in psychology, and worked her butt off till she had a neuromuscular disorder. No, I'm not a good choice for a grandparent. No, not. No. I'm not even worth a name for a grandparent, even though that's my blood. No. But he will, however, welcome a convicted felon that got a diversion into his home to be part of the family. That's smart. I mean, have you ever seen such stupidity? So, yeah, I'm in that place today where I'm like, yeah, knock on my door. Well, probably wouldn't end well. I don't know. I'm really disappointed. No, I'm not disappointed. I'm mad. I'm absolutely livid. So, and the only reason I'm calm is because they put me on medicine for my heart. Oh yeah, when he cussed me out and pulled everything off Facebook and told me that I was not to be called granny or anything else, and then screamed at my friend who wanted to make me a shirt that just had the initials of the children on it. Did y'all miss all that? Oh yeah, that was great. My heart almost went into another little issue there. So come that close to having a secondary little kicker. So yeah. So I got to have a buttload of tests done next week. Definitely have a murmur. We don't know if it's an arrhythmia or anything else what it's caused by, but I definitely have a murmur. So is it the disorder spreading to my other organs or the amount of shit that's been thrown at me for the last 48 hours? Take your pick. I mean, one's just as good as the other. I mean, I'm either going to get killed by a neuromuscular disorder spreading to my organs or by some enraged gesticulating ape man that thinks initials are nicknames. I just don't know how to. I used to think people spoke English and could communicate, but no. And if you ask a mother if that's normal behavior for their son and if he is mildly aggressive, how dare you? You know, if you asked me if that was normal behavior for my son, if he was mildly aggressive, I'd say, well, he used not to be, but now he's a little shit turd. So, yeah, I would probably approach with caution. And, yeah, if you don't have anything nice to say, probably wouldn't say it. Probably not somebody I would, just want to be around right now. I'd be completely honest. Completely honest. And I'd be like, thank you for letting me know he's been a little asshole. I'm sorry. You had to go through that. I raised him better. What did I get? I got excuses. 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 No accountability. No respect. Completely okay with his behavior toward another mother. Who do they think I am? I don't know. Probably whoever my ex-husband made up, I hope in his version I'm like married to Fabio and like live in this rustic cabin and like gnaw on the skulls of my victims. I'm really hoping that he really made it sound good, that I'm just a horrible person instead of somebody that just spent all her time in school trying to make a better life for her children and then gave all her retirement so her daughter could go to UT, and no, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. He also missed where I've been completely faithful to everyone I've ever been married to, but he's just pogo sticked on his pecker through life. Yeah, so you want honesty? This is honesty. This is what my life is going through. So everybody that watches me and thinks, oh, she's so sweet and she has such a great life. No, life is work. Life sucks. Dysfunction is just prevalent. And here's the kicker. The farther we get from 2020, the more people are changing. And if you go back, and I've preached this for 2 years now, the last 2 years, the aggressive the aggressive crimes from juveniles and adults, the criminogenic behavior that results in aggressive crimes, simple and aggravated assaults and homicide and beyond, have gone up by like 47 to 70% worldwide. That is something that should take like 2 to 3 generations to curve. But no one else ever sees that. No one else wants to also identify 47% of insurance claims that are having to be paid out that normally don't have to be paid out because people are, way early. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I have the little suspicion. Okay, like everybody thought California's rainstorm was just a natural disaster. Okay, well, I found the patent. I found the patent to the original cloud seeding. I have a picture of it. I will post it in the community. If you think things are naturally evolving, no, there's no way this is natural evolution of behavior. Behavior modification takes generations. That's why when we have to undo behavior, it takes so long, because it's so ingrained, because it's normally generations. Why are we seeing things happen in 2 to 3 years that should take 20 to 30? Why are they saying it's a natural disaster when obviously it was man-made because they put a patent out to use that kind of seeding? By the way, the thing that they seed with is actually toxic in that area. So is it a natural disaster? And nobody has flood insurance. Flood insurance is almost impossible to get. So everybody that lost their homes is just, hello, your name is Pooch, you're screwed. And the government, what are they reaping off of this? Well, probably they're going to get really a lot of cheap land. Oh, wait, what about all the missing kids in Maui? Where are they? Nobody cares anymore. Oprah's good, though. Dwayne Johnson's good. They're good. They learned their lesson. They'll be more caring next time. But we still haven't found the children. And the fires move too quickly to consume a complete human body. Do you know how I know that? Retired law enforcement, car accidents, homicide photos where victims were burnt. I've seen it all. Those fires move too rapidly to consume an entire body. You should be able to find remnants if they were killed. Where are these kids? Where are these kids? Not only that, where are the 200,000 that have crossed the border that our government put with sponsors, and the sponsors are getting paid, but they don't have children and they can't look at the children? Why are we not worried about that? Why are we not worried about that? Nobody's focused on anything that is truly an issue. They're just focused on picking on somebody, tearing somebody down for superficial looks, trying to have authority and control when there's no reason to have authority and control, because the pecking order, I mean, that's your kid. How much trouble can I be 7 hours away? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. The world is just, it's just a shitstorm right now. And it will continue to get worse until we do something. So the border's foobarred. States are trying to help stop this. And then people in the Northeast are saying, well, that's horrible for you to do. But when they go to the Northeast, they get them arrested and removed from their communities. And they don't feel bad at all about that. So immigration can happen, but only as long as it doesn't happen in their neighborhoods. We have issues. We have a lot of issues in this nation. And a lot of it has just combusted over the last 3 years. And I just feel like there's a reason. And I don't think it's natural. Because for all the studying I've done about the human brain and behavior modification and the training of behavior modification and the time lapse it takes to modify behavior, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. So, and I find it absolutely supercilious, condescending of someone to worry that I said the first letter of their children's name and thought it was cute, when literally world leaders have their finger on the red button. And you're worried because the maternal grandmother thought the names you chose were cute, the initials were cute. Tell me why any normal person would pick a fight over that. Really? And then when I use initials for the stupid person to go, my children's names will not be used in that manner. Those are not names, those are initials. Those are letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Boy, you're stupid, ain't you? Yeah, those are letters. And I'm sitting here going, where did this behavior come from? What did I do? And so my friend was like, well, if you don't like that idea, I'll just put the initials in hearts and it can say Granny's Hearts. Well, you could if that were her name. I am the mother of these children. Natural law dictates that I am the grandmother. I'm the granny. I'm all those words they use in history to describe the mother of the children. I'm really having a hard time trying to compost this, because it's like if I could find a rational thought, I could be like, okay, that's where he went, and he went poo on that tangent. I can't find a rational thought. And then if I want to know something about him, I only ask him. I don't ask other people about him. Oh, that means I'm going to ask other people about you. That means I'm going to be doing a whole background, because that just makes me go, whoop, red flag. Something's wrong with you. You don't want me talking to other people. What do you not want me to know? I ain't got nothing to hide. Put my name in any search engine you want. I'm very boring. My background is a blank piece of paper. That's what you get when you pull mine. It's a blank piece of paper. It just says I've been fingerprinted by state and federal levels because I've been employed by both, and it's a blank piece of paper. Yep, that's it. You can ask anybody about me. Some people will say, she's nice. She can be a little stern. Those are probably somebody I did a warrant on. Some people say, she's great. She saved my life. Those are people I probably did a warrant on. And then you'll have others say, she was the first person to treat me like somebody and I got my life squared away. That's somebody I didn't have to do a warrant on, but they listened and they became productive members of society. That's about all you'll hear about me. They'll say, yeah, she says what she means and she means what she says, and don't cross her if she says don't cross her. But if you need help, she will help you as long as you're willing to do the work too. Yep, I will. I told everybody, you lay in there and hitch to the plow, and I'll hitch right beside you, and we'll get you through this. But you got to want to be a better person. Do you know how long it's been since I've met a really good person? Just like out and about in society and just boom, run into somebody that I thought was like a really good person. I've had one like amazing conversation in the last 2 years with somebody I just ran randomly into at Walmart that was courteous, kind, struck up a conversation in the book aisle at Walmart of all places, and had an inquisitive, curious mind and was open to talk. And I was like, hallelujah, there's one for every 10 million, I guess. Woo-hoo, I found one. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, I've got 3 degrees. I worked my butt off to be able to try to make a better living. We lived really well for a while when I was working because I was making good money. But when this neuromuscular disorder came along because of me getting attacked by an axe and having 50,000 leg surgeries, yeah, times got tough. That's what happens. But nobody was ever not fed. Nobody was ever not safe. I mean, you just, you know, didn't buy certain clothes anymore, and you wasn't going to, you know, have 50,000 lake days in the summer. You were going to have a couple of weekends. You know, just pared down life. But I'm a horrible person, according to everybody. I'm a horrible person. But the man that had an affair on me for I don't know how long finally left me for that woman, had another kid, never paid child support, wanted rid of the kids we had together because he's going to go to jail for child support attachment, asked the state if he could please voluntarily terminate his rights, and they said not unless someone else adopts them. So then he calls back and begs David to adopt them. Called 3 or 4 times that day because I was at work. And then when I got home, I was like, well, if you had to ask David a question, why didn't you just ask him? You talked to him 3 times today. God, I don't really want to talk to you at all. And he was like, well, I really need this done. I don't want to go to jail. It's not my job to make your life easier anymore. I really don't care. Who do you think I am? Your wife? No, not anymore. Oh, so I dealt with that. And of course, he co-petitioned. So he and the state was like, okay, we'll do this. Oh, but he didn't have any money. David and I had to pay for it. Paid for it. Paid for the adoption. It was a closed adoption. And we said, you know, if your behavior can be okay, we're open to letting you see him at times. But it's, for all intents and purposes, it's a closed adoption. Because we really need rid of you right now because you're just a giant pain in my butt. He got 5 times to back out. He never did. We had to meet and pay for 5 lawyer visits to give because he did not choose to have counsel. So we had to pay for 5 visits with lawyers so that he could sign a document that says, I understand what I'm doing and I wish to continue. On the day that he signed the final adoption, he brought his girlfriend. I think at that point she was his wife because he married her like the first legal day he could. You can talk about stupid. And he signed that piece of paper like signing a car note. And I think that's probably the maddest I've ever been in my life. To know that somebody could marry somebody, make a covenant before God, create children, and then sign away his rights to those kids. Never have a second thought. And it was easier than buying a vehicle. That bothered me. So then he went on, had another kid. Had another affair and left that woman. She blamed me. I don't know how I was in that one. She blamed me because I taught him bad habits. I allowed him to have an affair with her, and therefore he thought he could have an affair on her. Literally, you can't make this shit up. And I was just like, if you call me again, I'm suing you for phone harassment. I'm literally charging you. I'll take you to court. Leave me alone. So then she started putting all these things on the internet, letters to my children, who were at the time, well, she did this from the time that they were 3.5 and 4.5 to 6.5, 5.5 and 6.5. I had to go back and get another lawyer to remind her that if she did not stop, she would be found in violation of an adoption contract and would serve jail time. That calmed things down for a little while. We finally had a few quiet months. Then she started trying to create other online diaries. She would leave names out. And she was skirting real close. And that was the one time I asked a favor. I said, please tell her to stop this. This is detrimental to the kids. It's aggravating to me, but it could be detrimental to the kids because they do not need to hear her story of your lustful affair and how it was a Cinderella romance. It's about to gag me. Tell her to stop. That's the only time I ever asked him for anything. Of course, he didn't care. He thought it was funny. So then he had an affair on her, left, signed the paperwork because she didn't want to stay in the state because he had got all those charges and kind of sullied her name and his name. So she wanted to move out of the area. She wanted to move to the eastern side of the state. He wanted to move out of the state. Well, actually, they moved both out of state. She wanted to move back. And he had to move out of Tennessee because he had caused too many problems for himself. So they moved down south. When he had the affair, she wanted to move back because the only person she had was like one sole friend in East Tennessee. Then he signed the paperwork to let that happen to where he wouldn't have any really rights over his child. He would just have like a 2-week visit twice a year or once a year or something like that. So he gave away 2 just completely voluntarily. Signed the third away to move away to where he has basically no contact. Though he does at least pay child support, I guess, on that one. He better. Somebody better make him pay. I was stupid. I should have made him pay. But then he goes and adopts 2 children with now the third wife, the second affair. What state in their right mind would let that man adopt children? After he's voluntarily gave 2 away, never paid child support, and then signed to let the other one move out of state and limit his parental time with her. I care more about puppies in a box in the Walmart parking lot. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm just mad. I'm just talking. I'm just mad. I'm trying to make sense of this, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I see a pile of crap that everybody keeps encircling and looking at it like it's a diamond. And I'm sitting here going, y'all are stupid. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Contacted a counselor friend and he said, is that even legal that state allowed him to adopt? Shouldn't they have done a federal background? I said, I don't know. I don't even care. I don't even care. I mean, after you've watched him go through 3 children and 2 wives, if you take that chance, you're probably not going to understand the danger you could possibly be in. You certainly didn't look at the danger he put everybody else in. But I don't know. That's just where I am. Y'all have always asked me my story. I told it once before, like 3 years ago. This is what it culminates in. Be careful who you marry, because the first person you marry will cause you grief if you divorce them for the rest of your goddamn life. Why? Because for some reason they think they have ownership over how you should emotionally feel the rest of your life, even though you just want to be rid of them. And then they will go and create little toxic pockets of people. And then if you had children, as soon as your children get of age, they flap money and go, come get to know me. But see, they know this person now that's 20 years past that, never taken care of anybody, but has grown up and learned how to use words a little bit better and made a little bit of money. And since they never knew him during the horrible time period of all the things he did to damage their little lives, they've created this fictitious, heroic person of who he should be. And he's so much better than the person that, the person that raised them, me. Because I was the disciplinarian and I was the person that had to do the day-to-day, just mind-numbing parenting that kids hate. But if they get to envision what kind of parent he might have been, they get to create this character in their head. And he's Superman apparently right now. Well, you're Superman. Come my hire. Spent a lot of time in prison because he couldn't keep his Superman hands to himself. So I just have a really hard time that people don't read the whole story, don't get the whole background, don't ask questions, get mad when people do ask questions. Are you just supposed to go through your life blind and not ask about people's behaviors, not ask about their standing in the community, not understand how other people feel about them? It's very important if you're trying to learn how to trust somebody to understand how other people view them and how they've treated other people. You ask questions, you investigate. It's a normal, natural behavior. Until the year 2020. Now it's horrible to want any kind of knowledge. I don't know. I'm just irritated. Shortest Temu haul ever. I'm just not in a good mood today. The heart medicine makes me feel like absolute crap. And all because I said I could call those kids A&W. And it reminded me of A&W root beer. Thought it was cute. Thought it was cute. And just FYI, I'm still going to refer to him as A&W root beers, whether I get to see him or not. Because that's what it brings to mind. So, I don't know. I don't understand people. But this is the life that I've been stuck in for the last little bit. It was cute. I know it was cute. He was just wanting a control fixation. I mean, and I know he's in a stressful position. And that's why I was like, I'm just not going to say anything. But then the Hitler manifesto that I got telling me just how big a piece of shit I was when he's met me all of like 4 times. Okay. That tells me way more about him than me. So, I don't know, I'm just really irritated. And it's weird because I've been so sick for so long, I've not had the energy to be irritated. So part of me is happy because, yay, I have the energy now to be irritated. Part of me is really frustrated because I don't have an outlet for the irritation now because I've been so sick for so long. I don't have any hobbies. I can't do anything I used to do. I have no outlet for the irritation. So how do I get rid of this irritation? So I called a counselor friend of mine and I was like, let's chit chat a few times. And you help me see if I'm blind walking through this. And he's like, no, seems like you've got your eyes wide open, and yep, you picked up on some important things. I did. He said, yeah, that's probably what scared him. He said, and that's why I got the defensive posturing and the cutoff. That unless I curtail and follow every rule that is going to be absurdly created, then at any moment they can yank the babies away. So I just said, yeah, if that's what it's going to be, no. I don't do tricks. Peace out. I'm done. Because what kind of environment would that put them children in? Being around me, who would be completely anxious and half irritated, wondering what he's going to pull next. I mean, the energy that, I mean, my God, you can screw a horse up training it when you got bad energy. Imagine what you can do to kids if you have bad energy. Parents don't understand that. Half the kids that I helped that were in state custody that had trauma and addiction backgrounds, they just had parents that were foobarred and didn't understand how their behavior affected the children. But if I try to talk about that, I'm just a horrible person. I'm just a horrible person. I'm a horrible person because I point out that there are things that he may need to work on. And I try to understand if this is a new thing or if it's been a past behavior. So I ask his mother, the source, your son scared me the other day. Is this normal? Because I don't think it was, but it jolted me enough to cause a heart issue. And I don't feel safe. If I were to think I was still going to be coming down to help, which I'm not now because of the heart issue, my doctors won't let me travel. They're not going to let me travel. But I wouldn't go anywhere now because if you get mad over me saying A&W, what happens when I say, bring me a diaper, please? What happens when I say, will you help me attend to this? I can only imagine. So I'm not going anywhere. Doctors won't let me. Oh, I've sent so much baby stuff. Like every 10 to 12 days, I send a package. I sent a package. I never got a thank you. One time they told me they thought one thing I sent was cute. Then she said, I have an Amazon gift list. Okay, send me the link. I never got the link. And I don't know exactly when the baby shower was because I was told it was supposed to be on this date that was on a copy of an invite. But then they posted pictures of a different baby shower. And I said, was that the baby shower? Yes. Okay, well, I thought it was the next. So I'll just send stuff to her. Never mind about putting it on the table and surprising her, I guess. Well, they didn't tell me that they had two and that the other one was going to happen. So, I mean, it's just evident that I was not in the equation. I was not important enough to be in the equation. I know God knows what the ex-husband and the stories and lies. Oh my God. If they ever see this, go pull a background on me. Do it. Do it. It's a blank piece of paper. But you can do it. Pay $50 and go pull a complete background on me. Pull a whole profile. Do it. See if anything that has been said about me is true. Come up here and spend 3 weeks and talk to people in the community about me. Do it. I'll let you. Hell, I'll give you gas money. Do it. I'll give you a list of people I supervised, and you can go and ask if I was a giant turd to them. Never was. I was good to everybody because everybody deserves a chance to have a second chance and to shine. And I had some people that shined really bright when they figured out I don't want to be a felon. But it's completely okay for them to never ask a question and create an animosity-filled profile against me and excise me from this entire event. But when I try to understand and see if this is normal behavior or something new, go to his mother because that's the person that's known him the longest. Is this normal? Now, if somebody had asked me that as mother, I'd have been like, no. But I will most definitely have a very important talk with him about this, and you will be getting an apology, and he will never do that again. No, I got none of that. I got excuses. Excuses for behavior. That will continue because once someone in their mind opens the door that approves that disrespect, it just gets worse. They never reel it back in. They just keep giving more leeway. It's like when you learn to use the gas pedal on your car, you never stop. You just keep pushing, right? It's fun. So I don't know. I'm just like bamboozled about all of this. I don't know. I don't even know what my daughter knows. If she knows what completely happened. If I don't know if she's okay with what he did. If she's still, I respect his decision. How can you respect his decision to attack me when all I said was Granny's A and W's? You can respect him acting like a silverback freaking gorilla to a female because I thought that was a cute little nickname. Oh no, I'm using 2 letters. I didn't call him like Yeezy or nothing, you know. I didn't say, oh, you can name him whatever, but I'm going to call it Obadiah. No, I didn't do any of that. I just used the first letter of each name, A and W, because that when hey, listen, you named him A and W. There's 330 million people in North America, in the United States, that if you said A and W to him, probably 57% would say root beer. Yeah, A&W. I thought it was cute. I thought it went together really well because in another way, A&W root beer. It's like another little twin thing. Well, root beer and ice cream go together really well. That's cute. That could be so cute. No, I am not to use his children's names in any manner like that. Ever. It's not names, it's just initials. It's just the first letter. I need to ask permission. Then my friend was like, well, okay, if you don't want that, then I won't do that. I'll just put their initials in a heart and put Granny's and it have 2 hearts with their initials. Well, you could if that was going to be her name. And then he erased everything from the internet. And I'm like, you little pussy. If you're going to say it, leave it. Leave it. Like, if you're going to say it, leave it. Like, I'll leave this. Maybe in 3 weeks, I'll come back and say, hey, we have a resolution. I'm no longer angry. I figured it out. I investigated it to understand the flaw in his logic that created the animosity. And holy crap, maybe things will get better. Highly doubt that. But I mean, that would be great. That would be great. And then I could come back and go, yeah, you had to go through all that and think to find that one thing that could make this better. But I can't find one thing that would make this better because I can't find the one thing I did to make it wrong. Other than think that A and W was cute together because it reminded me of an A and W root beer float. And everybody knows root beer and vanilla ice cream go together. Hey, twins, go together. I thought it was cute. But not only did he verbally accost me, he did and verbally accosted my friend, who was just trying to be sweet and congratulate them and try to like provide a gift, like to help remember the moment that we found out what they were going to name the kids and they finally announced it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I never, God, but yeah, when people asked about me when I was pregnant, I was like, if you want to come over and help, please, come on. I'll take it. I'm going to need all the help I can get. Come on. Thank you so much for thinking of me and making a casserole. Bless your sweet heart. I love you for it. I never said, how dare you assume I want a casserole? You were supposed to bring baked spaghetti. How dare you? You will never enter my home again because you don't understand what I crave. I mean, that's like literally how his mind works. And it's like, no, you should just be happy that people are here to love and help. But I've gotten not one thank you. I got told one item was cute and they liked it. I've not gotten one thank you. I think I've had 3 video calls with my daughter her entire pregnancy, all of them while he was gone. It's a red flag. One of them I only got because it was Christmas and my mom and dad really wanted to see her. That's the only reason we got that one. I don't know. I don't know if it's both just don't care for me. If they think greener pastures are, there because people can flap a couple bills in their face and let them have nicer things and, because they think they grew up so horribly. Honey, I gave you the skills to survive this world. Now, you might not have grown up in a mansion. I gave you the skills to survive this world. And you've done remarkably well. You remember when you wanted to crap out and not go to UT after I'd already given him like $7,000? Yeah, and I said, nope, pack your bags, you're going. Because I know when you get there and you get started, you will be okay and you will finish. You're just feeling the jitters, and I'm not going to let you feel the jitters because this is what you want to do your whole life, and you're going to do it. And I've already given him $7,000, and I have another $3,800 payment fixing to come out. So you're going because I can't get that money back. She was mad at me for 2 years. But she liked school. 4.0. Graduated with honors. Yeah. The seating for the graduation was so horrific, and the walk. I went with her to the orientation, which cost $308, by the way. I went with her to the orientation and walked more than I had walked in probably 6 years, and was down for a few weeks after that. But I took her and I went and I walked and I did everything the other parents did, and I shut my mouth and I tried not to limp and I tried to act as normal as possible so that people wouldn't be like, what is wrong with you? Well, I'm half crippled, but I'm just trying today. And so when the graduation came, I had to watch it on TV because where I was with my legs and with my health in, she was like, there's no way you'll be able to walk your mom, just don't. But what I didn't know was that everybody else had traveled to attend. What I didn't know was that they had handicap parking, and they had specific shuttles for handicapped people. They had specific seating for handicapped people. But I was told I wouldn't be able to walk it, and just don't come, Mom. You won't be able to walk it. Maybe she didn't know about all that. I called to ask afterwards. I was like, I saw some seats that were marked. I have a question. Saw some wheelchairs down front, saw some seats. I have a question. And I called. And that's when I found out. And I thought, okay, well, maybe she didn't know. I always try to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she didn't know. I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel if y'all are in this position, because I'm really like just trying to talk it through. I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to understand it, and I can't for the life of me understand it. I don't know what I did to justify such nastiness and to be told that I am just such a bother. How can I be a bother? I'm 7 hours away and I've talked to you 3 times in 9 months. But every time you come up here, I'm the Motel 6. They even let you keep your damn dog in my house. You never visit with me. You're just running and visit with everybody else. But I still offer you a place to stay and never told you no. Even though you were drunker than a skunk and about to break crap in my kitchen one night. And I said, you need to sit down and eat. You are drunk. And he decided he would sit down and eat. I don't know. I don't know how I'm such a bother. I don't know how I'm such a bother when, I mean, I've sent hundreds of dollars of baby stuff. The original plan that I was going to be there when she gave birth, she was all excited. Then the plan switched to, well, you stay home while I give birth and let me get home and get situated, and then you can come down. And then it switched to, we've got the first 10 days covered. Why don't you just wait until I'm up a little bit more mobile and we can enjoy your visit? And then it turned, to, we've really got everything taken care of. Did you not ever think I just wanted to come down and see my grandbabies because I might be dead in a few years? I do have a terminal disorder. Did that ever cross anybody's mind? Or is life really all about you? Normally, I try to think about other people. So I'm sitting here trying to unravel this thing and find where the knot started and go, okay, we can fix this. I don't think we can. I don't think we can. So there, the joys of parenting. Proceed with caution, people, if you're young enough. There's your warning. Never marry a jackass. There's your warning number 2. Normally, if your dad says he's not worth anything, probably need to listen to your dad. Yeah. If I'd listened to my father, yeah. I don't regret my first marriage because I got my children, but I regret that my children are now being pulled and manipulated by him and his parents because they want to punish me rather than understand it was his behavior that he gave his children up. He voluntarily terminated his rights. I did not force anything. But they want to punish me for the time that they lost with the kids. I didn't do that. Your son did. I even let the kids still visit his parents because I wasn't going to punish his parents for what he did to me. His parents are in on it now too. When the George Floyd riots were going on, I mean, my daughter just blipped off the radar. She was gone. I was freaking out as a parent. Where's my child? Did she go on some stupid spring trip and now she's somewhere dangerous and she's only gained them 120 pounds. Where do I need to be to find her? Or is she safe? I was freaking out because the world was imploding. I needed to know where my children were, at least what region they were in, what area were they safe. So I called my ex-husband's mother because lots of times she would go and stay with her when she had a break. And I was like, do you know where she is? Well, I can't tell you because I don't want to betray her trust. Well, it would have been nice if your son had not betrayed my trust, but here we are and I want to know where my child is. Well, I promised I wouldn't tell. You are really putting she was just at the time, just had turned like 18. You're really putting a basically juvenile brain and their stupid desires above a mother's concern for the well-being and the physical well-being of their child. She refused to tell me anything. And I said a whole string of really nasty words and said, you need to stay away from me. But she refused to give me any information. But she knew exactly where she was. And I tracked her down because I'm a retired parole officer and it's what I do. And I found out that she was in a region, she was in an area that was safe. And I was like, okay, she's good. But that disrespect has stuck with me. And that told me, okay, they're not good influencer for my children. I sat my children down and I said, listen, I know you love them. And I know that at one time we all seemed to get along just fine. But since you've become adults, I believe that their motive has changed. And I believe you need to be careful. Because I believe they're going to try to manipulate you into things that you might not want to do. And if you don't want to do them, you don't need to do them. What was the kicker? Money. 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 Didn't matter that I emptied my whole retirement to cover the first year at UT. I paid for like 3/4 of the first year at UT because something screwed up with her financial aid. And I'd already paid for all the pre-dorm and the orientation and all that. There was a time where I emptied my retirement and me and David had 60 cents in the bank because of paying for her education. But we knew that she would do it. And so we just stuck our noses to the grindstone and said, by God, she's going to do it. We know. And once her financial aid kicks in at the end of this semester and it starts, we'll be okay. We can just get her through it. Just don't complain about it because she will finish school. She can't not finish anything. That's how she is. She finishes everything. She finished. Never got a thank you. I did get a phone call and she said, where's the $3,000? What? Where's the $3,000? Because Granny said she gave you $3,000 for me and my college. Your granny's only ever bought $100 worth of pizza when your brother graduated from high school and she came up here and that was her donation to the party. That's the only thing your granny's ever given me, other than a hard time and a headache. That's it. Well, she said, okay, well, she can say it all she wants to, but she never gave me any money. And I told everybody, you don't have to give me money. You can call the school and put it on her Vol account. Easiest way to do it. I sure didn't want to handle all the goddamn money if they wanted to send me. Nobody ever sent me money, so don't worry about that. Well, I had one person. I had a friend that helped out when UT overdrafted my bank account. I had a wonderful friend help out. But she wasn't family. But that woman had told my daughter that she had given me $3,000. She hadn't given me a penny. Look at me. She had not given me a penny. Not a penny, a plug nickel, not even a smile. But she created a rift, and my daughter thought I had stolen money from her. What? Doesn't matter. I paid for your whole freaking first year at UT. I mean, my God. But if she had given it, I would have put it on your account. Just like when they would call and say, her vol card's getting low. That's how she ate. Okay, I'll put some money on it. Never told anybody, just... But why would you tell a child that? And why would the child believe it, knowing that if they wanted to put money in, all they had to do was call and put it on her vol account? So the more I look back at this, the more I'm like, I have really been nice about Wade. I've really overly been nice. I've really been laid back about all this and thinking that it'll all work out. No. I guess the fictional hero that their biological father was in their brains is better than the actual man that picked them up and adopted them when he didn't want them, when he just threw them away. Beg the state to please take the burden off of me. I don't want to go to jail for my children. No, you don't want to pay your child support either. Durr. I just don't know how they could think more of him than the man that said, I will take these children and raise them. I will treat them like my own. I will give them my name and every penny if they need it. There's got to be something wrong if you can overlook that. There'll be something wrong. Yeah. I feel really bad for Dave. And I don't want him to get back and hear me say this, but see, we tried Google with my first husband. I am the 0.03% of the population the pill does nothing for. That's how my parents know I was a good girl. I was a freaking Virgin Mary. So the doctors didn't believe it. They had to do hormone panels on me and viable egg counts. And they were like, oh, crap, it doesn't work on you. And I'm like, I know, because I've tried 2 different kinds, taking it ritualistically because I'm a creature of habit. Every morning when I got up at 5 o'clock to go to the barn, I took that sucker. I took it every morning, 5 o'clock, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. Creature of habit, because I went to work at the barn and then I went to school. And I didn't get a break until late in the day. So that's how I started my whole day. Even took the sugar pills because I'm a creature of habit. They thought I'd just been young and stupid. No, I'm sorry. I'm not one of those people. I'm not young and stupid. So they said, well, we'll put you on a higher dose. You just weren't on a strong enough dose. Oh, got pregnant again. And they went, huh. I said, listen, y'all can't blame me for this. Something's wrong. So they did, after I had Haley, they did hormone panels on me. And they said, your viable egg production is just as high on birth control as off. They were like, we've never seen this before. And I'm like, yeah. Well, that would be me. That's how my body works. Now that I am 40, almost 46, I've got the strangest, weirdest 3 levels, like 3 times the testosterone level women are supposed to have. That's me. That's me. Body's always been weird. So they said, well, yeah, we'll let you have a tubal because of that. Because I said, I can't have a kid every year, and we can't find a birth control that works, and I'm married to the most irresponsible toddler. I already have 3 children, if you count him. I can't do this. I had made vows before God to be married to him. So I wasn't going to just flip out of the wedding, but marriage. But I knew that I couldn't keep having kids with him because he was a child himself. I became a mother. He became a giant pain in my ass. So I had my tubes tied. But then I started having endometriosis really bad. Should have had 2 surgeries, but every time I'd schedule a surgery, he just, I can't take a day off from work to take you to the surgery. I had to have a DNC because of the buildup of the endometriosis and the blood loss. He dropped me off on his way to work, basically threw me out of the vehicle. And my parents had to come pick me up. I don't know where he was. When I had the tubal, after the tubal ligation, he was sitting there tapping his toe on the table, and I said, "What?" "Well, you need to hurry up, go to the bathroom. I don't have to pee yet because I couldn't eat and drink all last night, and I was just in massive surgery. I don't feel really good yet. When I feel not nauseous and can try, I will go try." "Well, we can't go home until you pee." Because, the doctors want to make sure they haven't messed anything up. He went out there and told the nurse that I peed and took me home. Did he stop and get any medication filled on the way home? No. He got me home, and then he left for 2 hours and left me in the worst pain of my life. I don't know where he was. He did finally show back up with my medicine. I don't know if it was all of it or not. But because I had no help with the kids and he wouldn't stay home from work, I really couldn't take it anyway because I still had to be a mom. So that was a really horrible experience. It was a really horrible experience. So, I don't know. The more I think back on it, I'm like, I'm amazed I am as sane as I am. I'm amazed I made it away from him. Because if he could have continued that affair, and had I not found out, he would have done so. He would have done so. It wasn't until he kept saying he was on outages. And it wasn't until he was on an outage and I hadn't seen him in like 3 days, and I didn't have a vehicle. I was 4.5 miles back on a bluff road. A little podunk, Carthage, Tennessee. Rawls Creek area, if you ever know it. Had no vehicle. Have to have a phone. Thank God I had a phone that time. And I didn't know where he was. Hadn't seen him, but I needed diapers. I had 2 kids, and I had like 3 diapers left. And I went, well, we're going to find him. So I called the outage number to report an outage, asked for the office number to find the head honcho, whose name was Roman. And I said, they called him Romy. I said, "Romy, where's my husband? He's on an outage. I need to find him. He's not answering his cell phone. I'm almost out of diapers. I haven't seen him in like 3 days. I know y'all are dealing with something huge right now, but can you give him a message for me?" And he goes, "Elizabeth, there haven't been any outages." So then I went and started paying attention. Started going through the bank account. There were Red Lobster lunches that I wasn't attending. My school account, where I was going to school at Ball State in Gallatin, and I was doing like distance learning. I only had to go on the weekends. He had taken my card that had my school money on it. That was my gas money to get back and forth on the weekends I had to go to school. It was what little was left over after you pay for everything. He'd gone and overdrawn that account by $400-something. It wasn't even his account. I should have just charged him with theft over $1,000 and let him go to jail. But I didn't know the law then. I was stupid. I was young, naive, and stupid. Yeah. So then, like 2 or 3 days later, this man calls the house and he's like, "Your husband wrote a bad check to me. You need to make it right." And I'm like, "What? He wrote a bad check to you?" "He wrote a bad check and you need to make it right." And I said, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, "I used to always keep up with the checkbook." I said, "But I was like pregnant with my daughter then, and my blood pressure was way up, and the doctor was like, you need to chill out, you need to not be taking over, stressful stuff, he needs to be watching the finances, you need to be resting, Stupid me. He said, yeah, I can do it, that's not a problem. He overdrew our accounts by like $1,200 in literally 40 days. And I would say, are you stupid? Well, I called the bank and they still said, oh, yeah, but you've written on it and the check hasn't made it. It doesn't magically disappear, you idiot. I was mad. Because you know what I had to do? The horses that I had stashed on my dad and my uncle's farm, the 2 that I wanted to keep for my kids, I had to sell. I had to sell them. So I always had to fix everything. He never had to fix anything. And for the first 6 years I was married to David, I would still hide money. Because I knew there was going to be something happen that I was going to have to fix it, so I would hide money. Now I know I don't have to do that because that man takes care of me. I don't have to worry about a thing. And I sit here and I think about all this, and I think about those are the people that are now influencing my children. Not good. Yeah, I left that marriage when I realized that I used to break 800-pound bulls. I used to break them to lead like puppy dogs to be shown so that these big farms could make massive money and breed their bulls. Look at this big bull. Look at how great this bull is. He's a docile animal. I was the person that made him a docile animal. And I realized I had been whipped by 140 pounds of crap. And I was mad for about 3 days, and I had a pity party. And then I went, no, nope, life's going on. So then I started researching, found his girlfriend, found where she lived, called him on it. He got very terrified. I tried to stay there and work at a factory at night and watch the kids during the day, but I couldn't do it all. I had to run a hydraulic press, which was like 80 pounds of torque to pull down because the other women that worked there couldn't do it. So they put me on the line because I was a big manly woman. And so I'd run a hydraulic press at night that I had to pull down. It was like 80 pounds. I mean, it was just, that's another reason I'm probably as big as I am. I ran that hydraulic press. I couldn't do it. I was barely functioning. I finally passed out at work one night. And they said, what's going on in your life? And I said, my husband is left. I don't know what's going on. I've had to shut the bank account and pull what little bit of money before he spent it on this stupid girlfriend he's found. I'm trying to take care of my kids. I can barely afford a babysitter. So I'm getting about 2 hours of sleep, and then that's all I can afford. And then I'm trying to do everything and trying to be a good employee, but the 12-hour shifts are a bit much because I'm only getting 2 hours sleep. I don't have any help. But I'm trying to keep my house and keep my kids where they know this is where they were born and raised. What tipped me to move back home? My refrigerator broke. It went out. And that was just like the camel's back went right then. That was the straw. And I moved back home. But that wasn't a very good scenario either. I didn't really get into a good scenario until I met Dave. Dave was the only one that told people to stop putting their hands on me and to stop, trying to intimidate me. I didn't always have the family I have now, the family bond I have now. I'm very fortunate I have it. It took an awful lot to get there. I'm glad we got there, but I didn't always have the great family bond I have now. And it took me about 6 years of marriage today before I really realized that the sky wasn't going to fall again. But for those 6 years, we also had to have multiple attorneys. We had to find things that were sent on the internet to our children who couldn't even read yet, but they had planned ahead and left little journals and trails, all saying that they were forced into a fraudulent adoption, even though he's on the paperwork. He's a co-petitioner. He called and asked the state to do it. I was called and said, are you agreeable? I just wanted rid of him. So that's where I've been my whole life. That's why I'm so frustrated right now, because I know who's influencing my children, and I know he's not worth a sack of crap. And I'm irritated. And I'm also irritated that the young man that disrespected me thinks more of that piece of crap than he does me. To the point where he's rooting me and David out of those children's lives so that he can pull him back in, even though legally he is not supposed to be around them. I mean, they're adults, they can dictate it, but literally they're not his children. On their birth certificates, we had it changed after the adoption. They have David's name. David is listed as the father. We basically erased him. Thank God the state allows that. It was the best thing I ever saw in my life, to see that name leave my children. It took me 11 years to get him off of my credit, because while he was still married to me but dating the bimbo, he went and bought her a new car that got repossessed. So it tagged him, her, and me. Not fair. I wasn't there. I didn't know he was buying her a car. So it took me 11 years to get him off my credit. Like, it was crap. You know, and somehow I still found time to finish my associates, finish my bachelor's, and finish my master's, and raise 2 kids, and work for the Department of Corrections, and get my master's in psychology, and help thousands of people. And but if you ask them, I'm an absolute piece of crap. Because I ask questions. I don't like disrespect. I want to know where it came from. Is it normal? Is this a pattern? These are all important things to me. But I'm a piece of crap because I want to know these things. When I'm sitting here going, I think you're a piece of crap because you raised your voice to a female, the mother of the female you're married to, so obviously it makes me wonder if you raised your voice to her. But as my husband so eloquently stated last night, you think you got a brass set big enough to yell at Liz like that, we got a problem. Because, yeah, somebody that thinks they can do that to me, they probably think they can do a lot of things they don't need to be doing, and it's probably not a good omen. So, it worries me. It worries me. It worries me. And when I asked his mother, because I thought we had gotten to a place where we could talk, because I thought we were doing pretty good. I said, I've never had anything but positive interactions with your son, but something just happened that I'm concerned about. And he's not answering my questions. He's ripping everything from Facebook. Is this aggression normal? Or is it just aimed at me? Is it because of the influence of the ex-husband and his parents and the relationship that you all have with them? I need answers. Because it damn near cost me another heart attack. And I knew at that moment there's no way I'm going into that home to help care for those babies. If he can be that verbally aggressive and nasty online, he'll put his hands on somebody. I'm not that person. I don't want to be in a Georgia prison. I just don't. So I was like, I'm not going to go. So just purely for the heart, but also because I don't think it's safe for me to be there. But I'm really concerned. And as a mother, I'm coming to you and saying, is this normal behavior? I know they're under a lot of stress right now, but perhaps we have some things we need to work on. Excuses. I gotta go. Well, he just doesn't like nicknames. It was initials. It wasn't nicknames. What does it matter if I think the nickname, the A&W root beer? What do I think if those initials and that brings that? Why do I think if I think that's cute? Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem? I called my children Munchichis for the first 10 years of their life because those little dolls that they had when I was a kid, I called them my little Munchichis. I mean, you have these little anecdotal moments in life where you remember these little things, and I'm not allowed to have any of that. I know this word association between A and W is just the A&W root beer. I thought a little shirt, and my friend did too, with 2 little floats on it with just their A and W on it, not even putting their names. I've not even said their names. We thought it'd be cute. Granny's little A and W. I'm a hostile, horrible person that doesn't deserve to be a grandma because I used their names in such a way. It was letters. It wasn't even names. And then he told my friend, I am not to be called a granny. Well, he already vetoed Mimi because I remember my Mimi and I don't want anybody to be called Mimi. Okay, fine. Grandma, granny, no, his mom was to be called grandma. Okay, fine. Granny, Gigi, Ona. I started going into different languages. No. Okay, y'all pick one. Crickets. Everybody else is already auntie and uncle and grandma and grandpa, and I'm just like, so I don't think I was ever really going to be given the chance to be part of the family. And it would hurt a lot worse if I didn't halfway expect it. Because as soon as I knew they lived that close to my ex-husband and that he knew my ex-husband, no. So the thing is his parents fostered, and they're related somehow, the young lady that my husband married, who was like 12 or 14 years younger than him. Listen, roll your britches up. This could be on like the wonderful world of the Watts in West Virginia. I'm not lying. Thank you, Mary. It's been and like I talk through things. That's how I process. I talk through things. But so they're moving me and David out, the actual grandparents, most likely to move them in. But he married my son-in-law's cousin or aunt, or they're related somehow. His parents fostered her at some point because of something in the family. I don't know. Probably another concern I should have. And she's 14 years younger than him. 12 or 14 years younger than him. What are they going to call her? Cousin, auntie, grandma? That's a concern right there to me. Is the confusion that's going to be created. And yeah, I know, it's funny, but really, what are they going to call her? Well, this is your grandma, but she's also your cousin or your aunt. We just fostered her, and so she's part of the family, but she's your grandma now. Because this strange man that used to be married to me came through and decided to have an affair with her when he was married to wife number 2. He had an affair with me, left me, married that woman, then had an affair on her, left her and married that woman. Now this is on his 3rd marriage. He voluntarily terminated his rights on mine. The second one he allowed to move out of state, and he only gets to see her every so often. But I guess he does pay child support on her, so hallelujah, somebody's getting paid for something. But then he went and adopted the 3rd woman's 2 kids from a previous marriage. What state in its right mind would let a man adopt children that had voluntarily terminated parental rights, begged for them to be taken away, never paid child support? and then sign for the other to be move out of state. And sure, I'm okay with only seeing you twice a year, 2 weeks. Sure. What state would ever allow that? And I'm wondering, did they just do a state check or did they not do a federal check? But also, even though he got a diversion on his felonies, I mean, it just keeps getting better. If they had run an NCIC and pulled a background, it still would have showed, because even if you get a diversion, it still shows. It just shows, it either say like, they'll say like nully prosecute or adjudication pending, or it'll say, you know, the sentence. It should have said plea withheld, diversion granted. But it still should be in there. So if they'd done their due diligence, they would have seen that. And surely they would not have allowed that. I worry about those kids. I don't even know them. I worry about them though. Because he just leaves a wake of just destruction just right behind him. I worry about him. And I worry that somebody thinks so highly of him to push me out to pull him in, and I'm sitting here going, I have no criminal record. I have a very strong career history. I have a great educational path. I don't know what your problem is with me. I'm trying to figure it out. So you won't talk to me. You won't tell me. I'm asking the people that know you the most, and that pisses you off even more because I'm not supposed to ask people questions about you. That means I'm going to ask people questions about you. It's like indicator number one that you have a control issue and you got something you don't want me to find out. Guess who's going to be pulling the background here real soon? Me. So I don't know. I'm just really concerned. I'm really concerned. So yeah, I'm going to pay money and pull a background. I'm going to do my normal snooping first, but I'm going to pay money and pull a background because I think with the anger when I went to his mom and was like, is this normal? As a mother, tell me, is this normal? The anger that he represented, and I'm never to speak to anyone about him. You only come and ask me. I'm not going to get the truth from you. I supervised felons. I know how that goes. I need to ask everybody but you. So, I don't know. I'm just like flabbergasted right now. Flabbergasted. But I refuse to play a role. I refuse to be told I must behave. Now, I understand that those are their kids. And what they say goes. And if they say, you know, you can't be here after 9 and you're not going to get in for any weekends, and you're okay. But when I'm with them, can I act like me? No. No. You will not ask any questions. You will not talk about this. You will not. So, I mean, am I really going to have a relationship? No. I'm going to have visitation with 2 people that will stare at me and never know who I am because I'm not allowed to open my mouth, because if I open my mouth, then they're scared that the truth will come out. And they're scared that the kids will go, gee, that's a nice lady. We feel really safe with her. And it might hurt them that the kids can pick up on that I'm probably the better candidate to be put in the grandparent position. Hello, I am the grandmother. So I don't know. I felt so craptastic. I'm here to tell you this medicine they give me for my heart. You look at my face. I hate it. I feel like a zombie. I'm irritated. It is probably the only thing that's keeping me calm enough to like roll this around in my brain. But I don't understand any of this. I know. I think it's the stupid, most ludicrous, idiotic. If you name your children names that start with A&W, people are going to say, oh, A&W root beer float. Hey. My son's initials spelled out law. Every time I brought him into a room, they would say, here comes the law, boy. And I thought that was cute. I didn't say, how dare you? You will not use my child's name in that manner. You need to ask me before you even speak about them. Don't you go asking people if I'm irrational. You only ask me if I'm irrational. Well, in my days of working with rational people, they never told me they were rational. They were just great, awesome people. They were just on probation or parole or in counseling for some other reason that was completely somebody else's fault. Lord have mercy. Anyways, this has been my week. So for all the people that know me, that watch me, that life can give anyone a shit pie. And I've got a big one right now. Yeah, I've got a big one right now. I'm the most unhappy, irritated person. I am devastated that my children can be bought. I thought I raised them better than that. I'm irritated that my children will allow certain behaviors when I raise them, telling them, you don't treat people like that. I'm irritated that my children would try to turn around and say I was a horrible parent when I never ran. If I had money, I fed you first. I never had any extramarital affairs and ran and left y'all and put you in somebody else's care. Nope, I was there. I raised you. And I'm the monster. And you take your children, or want to take your prospective children that you're fixing to have, and put them in the lap of a convicted felon that got a diversion and say that he is a better choice than I am. It's a hard one for me to swallow. That tells me we do not have a good thought process going on. Or money has made the decision. No, I don't have a lot of money. I've raised 2 kids. I don't have a lot of money. I wasn't out having affairs in my workplace and getting jiggy with everybody and living a bachelorette or bachelor lifestyle. No, I was going to school, working my butt off, raising children. And when I got married to David, I was keeping a marriage going. 21 years I've been remarried. This man's gone through 3. Would I not sound like the better person to be in that category? I just don't understand. I don't understand. And so that's talking it through. Don't understand at all. This is where I'm at. I don't understand at all. Supervised murders for a decade. I would gladly take a caseload of 200 murders than to deal with the crap that got handed to me the other night. I literally, give me a caseload of murders. I can tolerate them a whole lot better than I can what I went through the other night. So I don't know. There's no respect. If you ask me, it happened in 2020 and something went kaboom. And it was planned. And it was created to augment us. Neurological modulation is a thing. I wish people would read books. I wish people would read peer-reviewed scientific journals. I wish people would look into testing. I wish people would look at the government patents the government's filing. I wish people would read about all the biological warfare programs that are going on right now in our world. I wish people would look at these things. I'm not paranoid. I'm just aware. I'm just aware. Because I read a lot about neurological testing and how they were trying to create, they called it emergent technology. And it was a book from people in medical degrees and in engineering and stuff like that. They were trying to create a way to neurologically modulate the brain, basically hack the DNA, which would be the motherboard of a computer, and augment the operating system, which would be your brain. Sounds absolutely ludicrous, but they had already done it successfully to the point where they can map out the patterned responses of people to certain stimuli. So it's happening. So why don't people read about it? And why won't people believe it when you can look it up? You can go on the DOD and DARPA and see what they're doing. You can go and pull every government patent that's been filed and see what they're doing. But people just don't. So, Mary, this is going to be a hard one for me to get over. This is going to be a hard one for me to get over. Yeah, if you disrespect me, do it before I spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on you. You know? Just once, I wish somebody would say it to my face. Never had anyone say anything to my face. That's what irritates me the most. If I don't like you, if I have a beef with you, I will come and tell you I have a beef with you, and we need to talk about it and resolve it, because I don't like to have beefs. So let's just hash it out and get it over with. That's how I am. Figure out if we are going to be able to mend this, or if we just need to go our separate ways. Just figure it out right now. Get it over with. But when they're here, he's only been picture sweet, syrupy, sweet kindness. You get 7 hours away, and all of a sudden, he's freaking King Kong. So I have a problem with that too. That alludes to a whole other array of issues. But I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried. And I'm concerned. I'm irritated. I'm aggravated. I'm frustrated that as a mother, I went to another mother. And yet they're young adults. They're still struggling. They still need guidance. All I got was excuses for his behavior. So we know how he was raised and trained. He can have a behavior and we'll create an excuse. And it's okay. I don't do that. You're responsible for your behaviors. You're responsible for the ramifications of your behaviors. And if you have the wrong behavior with me, we're going to talk about it. And if we can't resolve it, you're going to leave me alone. So I don't know. I just have such a bad feeling about all of this now. I have such a bad feeling. I know. Me and Gypsy have had so much of the same things happen. We were just supposed to meet. We were just supposed to meet. Just to have somebody to commiserate with, I think. Just to know that more than one person's child was a complete, utter, stupid piece of crap. I love my children, but I will tell you when they're being stupid pieces of crap. And I believe children need to hear that sometimes. That's not a wise decision. You're acting like an idiot. Sit down and think about this. Your first impulse is never right. Your first 333 impulses are never right. Sit down and think about the ripple effect you're fixing to create. Is it worth it? That's what I've ingrained in mine. But apparently it didn't stick. Well, or it did until they were I don't know, until their souls were grabbed by the people they married. I've had so much happen to me in my life, Gypsy. It's just like, what else? What else? I mean, the only thing you can do is survive, which is the one thing they probably don't want you to do. So I'll get through this. I thank God I have bonus kids. One of your children is my bonus child. I've got bonus kids here. I've got people that care and check up, and I've got really good friends, friends that I've had since we were kids in kindergarten. That's how long some of my friendships have been. A lot of people don't have that. I do. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. I have some really great support systems. But I can't make sense of this other than to say this was planned, initiated, and implemented at an opportune time. And I almost think that post was created just so he could have a massive shit fit to wherever I put there. I could have said, bless their little hearts, and he would have probably thought that was horrible. Or, I'm so excited, and he would have probably said I was singing a horrible song that children should never hear, and whoever heard of the Pointer Sisters, and you're a bad influence. I mean, I seriously think that he would have come up with any excuse for anything I had said. I think it was just planned. I think it was just planned out. But the only thing I'm broken about is that those grandbabies could potentially be partially raised by the man that has ruined 3 children's lives, 2 women, potentially 3, 2 women's worlds for, years at a time, And I don't have a lot of sympathy for that woman, because she deserved what she, unless you play with fire, you get burned. But I have sympathy for what her child went through, because no child should be put through what my children put through. And he just did it again and again and again and again. So I am sorry at the end of the day that her child had to go through that, and therefore that she had to go through that. But can we not recognize a pattern and recognize the person that doesn't have a pattern and say, oh, there's probably a decision we need to make better than what we thought we were making it? I don't know. Why am I hated? Because I can't be controlled and I don't fit in. I don't fit in. I'm not the pristine, perfect woman. I don't throw my hair back and go, and worry about this year's colors and shoes. I make bone jewelry and I make ceremonial sticks for the tribes. Oh, she's so weird. Well, I'm not weird. I'm just different than you. That doesn't make me weird. It makes me different from you. You thinking I'm weird is a hostile response. I'm just different from you. But these societal standards, I don't follow them. I don't think I should. What part of society is not foobarred? And I don't want to identify with any sect of the population that's foobarred. I'll just stay over here and be weird. I'm okay with that. But no one else is. Because how would she look at a public event? She used to supervise felons. She doesn't have any stories to talk to the women about. How horrible. Can she even make tea cakes? Does she even know how to make sweet tea? Gasp. That's what I'm battling. Honestly, that's what I'm battling. That's what I'm battling. I don't want to fit in. Honestly, I looked at David. I said, it makes me want to shave both sides of my head again, do my faux hawk, and color it red or purple. Because I don't give a rat's hind end what people think about me. I give a rat's hind end who's going to influence those children as they grow up. And I don't want it to be a convicted felon that got a diversion. He got his plea withheld. He pled guilty, but the plea was withheld. So they had the goods. He was guilty. But they withheld the judgment and the plea and said, if you can do this supervision, we'll give you a diversion. But if you can't, then the charge will stick. He did a supervision, so he got the diversion. If he had screwed up on supervision, he would be a convicted felon. But that's a better choice than me. Man, that's a big one. That's a big one. Okay, we're getting troll traffic, so I'm going to stop before the idiots roll in. This is something that you really need to think about, especially if you're parents of younger kids or teenagers. Think about this. This is what this is turning into. These are issues you're probably going to come up against. Aggression is through the roof in that age group. In the 17 to like 32, it's exploding. It's like 47 to 67 times higher than it's ever been. Juvenile violence is whoa through the roof. The bell curve does not match any other time in history for changes in society. It should have taken 3 to 4 generations for that much of a change to occur. So what created this radical change in our society? Because it's creating a lot of the problems that we're dealing with socially and as family units now. Families hate each other, whether they got a little prick in their arm or not. Families hate each other if you don't like a certain candidate, or you have a flag on your porch. It's this world has gone crazy. People are so asinine. They worry about things that are so stupid. Do you know that at any moment We have enough illegal immigrants in our nation to overtake us. Do you know that if you go on, I think it's Nick Shapley or Nick Sharpley, I listed one of his videos in the community section. His mother's a sociologist, and they've been traveling around where they're housing all these immigrants in these big, really nice, is it like the Roosevelt Hotel in New York? They get 7-month stays, free breakfast, lunch, and dinner, free phone, free spending money, free clothes. Have any of them found jobs? Some of them are honest, and they're like, I came here to work and I can't find a job and I'm going to go back home. I don't want to be away from my family. Other ones are like, we like this government. We don't have to do anything. Actually, probably about 80% of them are like, we like this government. We don't have to do anything. Now, do we need immigration? Yeah, we do. Because immigration is what this country is based on. But legal immigration is what it's based on. I want you to be here if you want to be here and be a productive member of society. I want you to be here. We need you. Good Lord, we got enough sorry people living here. We need good people. Do I want you to break the law to be here? No. Do I want my taxpayer dollars going to just hold you up in a 5-star hotel? No. Do I want you given voting rights because you've been here for X amount of days? No. And nobody knows what's going on. So these people are going from state to state where they're being housed and put up and showing the truth and interviewing the immigrants. They're even saving up to buy vehicles, even though they say we can't drive legal. We can't drive legal. But if we be careful, they say we can have cars. Who said you can have cars? I can't drive mine unless I've got it registered, tagged out, insured. My God. It's just a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. How can you ask for people to want to come somewhere to better their life when you, okay, here's the thing. If you go to an auction to buy cattle, you're going to see 7,000 head of cattle that day in a big livestock yard. You're going to pick at probably 40 that you might want to bid on. Those are the prime stock that you want to bring to your land. You don't say, I'll just bring, 20 trailers and we'll just take them all home in 5 trips and I'll just figure out the good ones and call the other ones later. It'll be okay. No, because by the time you get them all on your land, the ones that are rogue or got problems or medical issues or worse, mental issues or, they're going to ruin your herd. They're going to ruin your land. They're going to ruin your fence structure. They're going to ruin your farm. They're going to ruin your name in the farming community. And that's just a small farm analogy. Now put that on a world stage. If you want to see how people think about America, watch the Australia Sky News. Go to India and watch some of India's news. Now, sometimes it's hard to understand them because the dialects sometimes get me, but I try really hard because they say exactly what they mean. Pay attention to what people are saying about the United States. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. They were interviewing people, where are you from? Bolivia, Colombia. And then this one guy goes, Turkey. I thought we all walked here. Oh no, we had planes. They chartered us planes and they brought us over here and then they chartered vehicles and we rode. But we did stop for photographs. He told on everybody. He told on everybody. And this boy is doing, I say boy, he's a young man, and his mother are doing great work. I think it's Nick Shipley. Go back in the community section a few days ago. I posted a video. It's like, everybody needs to watch this. He has done an extensive amount of traveling to talk to them in like every state they're being mass funneled to. But do you know, in New York, now they're arresting them and trying to kick them out. They're giving them like 7 days to leave. They're giving women with children 30-day notices to leave. They don't care where they go. They're not giving them any other options, or they're not giving them any other benefits. They're taking everything away from them. You go, we've been housing you, feeding you, clothing you, giving you a phone. Get that all back and leave. We don't want you anymore. Well, gee, Sanctuary City, that was nice. that was swell. So I don't know, but these people came here under false pretenses because they were told you'll be taken care of. and you'll have a job in 30 days. And you'll be making more money than you'll ever, and these people are like, no, if we look at the rent, once we get a job, we have to pay this, this, and this, and this gets taken away. It's better for us just not to work. Oh, we trained him. We trained him. Yeah, they're like, well, he's asked a lot of them, well, who would you vote for in the next election? Oh, Biden, he take care of us. He good man. No, he's not taking care of you. It's the taxpayer. It's the taxpayers taking care of you. It's that. How can you teach somebody about the structure of a government if the government is breaking its own structure to funnel them in? You can't. You can't. And I feel horrible. I feel really horrible for like the 200,000 kids that are just ply blank missing that nobody seems to care about. And these sponsors are being paid by the government to have these children, but they're missing. God knows where they are. Nobody's looking for them. Nobody cares. I care. Those are children. Those are children. Now, adults that come here, that's one thing. They take care of themselves, but those are children. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I know, those poor kids. I know I have ideas I'm more educated and highly read than most people, and worked for government and decided it was not the place for me because they're some of the sorriest people I ever met. So I have some ideas about what's going on. But I'm going to have somebody on here this weekend that's going to do an interview. And we've been trying to get it done for like 3 months now, and we either have snow or sickness, but I think we're finally going to get it done. And it's going to be something everybody needs to hear. Probably will end my YouTube career, but I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I've got earmarked same name pages on Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon, so come find me. But it's just like, this boy has done some hard work, and he's brought the truth out. He's brought the truth out. They were collected, funneled, driven, used for propaganda and photographic opportunities to create an emotional response, to make it seem like it was necessary when none of it was. And they've caught like 18 of the worst world's terrorists, but they've missed 11 that are in our country somewhere now. Whew. Yeah, the interview is going to be whew. And I've not had a good week, so I'm on edge. I'm back in parole officer, law enforcement mentality. So the interview is going to be probably interesting. Because I'm not in a passive, compassionate. And she's like, I want you to dig into me. And I'm like, okay, well, now I've had something that's really irritated me this week. So I'm like, I'm probably going to be meaner than you want me to be. And I apologize in advance, but it's just going to happen. But I want you all to don't believe anything that you hear. Research it. All I ask is that you listen and research it. Research it. Look this stuff up. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on in my family, which is completely, utterly insane and stupid. And then multiply that by 330 million, because that's about how many families are foobarred right now in this nation. That would be all of them. But we got a problem. But if you can find this young man's channel, if you're going to go my community post back, it's Nick Shapley or Nick Sharpley. God, I wish I could remember. I wish my brain was more with it, but that heart medicine is just not. I swear I don't like it. It just makes me feel really bad. But I have to take it right now because we don't know what's going on. So we got to keep the ticker calm. Very hard this week. Very hard. And I supervised murders for a decade. I'm normally very chill. I'm utterly pissed off to a level I'm never somebody asked me where I was, and I was like, I'm in the 7th layer of hell, fixing to find out if there's an 8th. That's where I am. That's where I am right now. That's where I am. But this is important stuff that everybody needs to know. Whether they do or they don't, I'll make it through it. But I hope to bring some recognition to the aggressive nature and what's going on in families and how families are being broken down, and the mindset of people that throw kids away, but then 20 years later decide that I'm going to manipulate you to get back at the woman that I cheated on. Excuse me, I was just raising toddlers and cleaning your home and making your dinner. That was all your behavior. And because I went on and had a decent life, you're mad at me. I can't help that you keep going through women. That's your problem. You treat your Peter like a pogo stick. That is your problem. Sorry, guys. I call those Lizisms. I'm country and they come out. But I've been married for 21 years. I'm as solid. I'm worked in forensic psychology for the Department of Corrections. I supervise murderers. I'm a solid person. And I'm being treated like a crazy person. And they're trying to justify the treatment of me like a crazy person because they would rather have someone that was a convicted felon that got a diversion. Yeah, he got a diversion because he completed his probation. But he had official misconduct charges, but he got a diversion. So we erased those because he did his supervision. But he still did the crime. They had enough, and he pled guilty, but they said, we will withhold judgment. If you can complete the supervision, then it will be erased. You will be granted a diversion. But they still are seeing that as a better option of somebody to have their children around than me. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. When did I find out he was a liar? When he said he had grown up hunting, and we hadn't been married very long, and we lived on a cattle farm. I shot a rabbit. I said, let's make stew. Let's fry it up or something. Make stew or fry it up. Let's do something. I said, here, gut it and skin it. The first thing he did was puncture the bladder and ruin the meat. Okay. Obviously, you embellished who you were. And I was so stupid and naive when I was young. And during the divorce, something within, just some mechanism within me just clicked, and I went, no more, never again, absolutely not. I will read every book. I will know everything. I will be so prepared. And so I went on and finished my education while I raised 2 kids and started another marriage, which has now lasted 21 years. I have a wonderful husband now, thank God. But because I had a good life, he thinks he has to retaliate by trying to pull me away from my grandchildren. Poison the thought process of people that live close to him. It's just absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. We love Lizisms. Y'all, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. And like, I've called counselor friends of mine that I'm like, y'all need to schedule some time to talk to me because I need to work through this, and I'm a talker. I need to work through this. I need to understand what's going on. And if I can't understand it, I need to find some way around it and through it so that I can move on. And so they're like, yeah, sure. So I thank God I have a great support system, and I worked with some really awesome people that are willing to help me. But I don't know, this world and the things that have happened in the last few years, it's not natural. Do you know what the TWRA said the other day? Let me tell you how stupid the TWRA is. I told the game warden the other day he was retarded. Okay, sorry, that's a word. It's in the dictionary. I'm going to use it. So we have chronic wasting disease, which it either shows up as blue tongue, swollen brain, they go in circles, it looks like a neurological issue, or they're like seeking water, you know, like the reverse of a rabid animal. They're like seeking water, and you'll find them dead around water, but their tongues are swollen, hanging out of their mouth, or they'll have like lots of cancerous tumors, or they'll act real weird and walk in circles and tilt their head. That all means neurological issues. That is chronic wasting disease. That is blue tongue. That is in the brain. Don't ever get around an animal like that. Call your services and tell them it needs to be dispatched and burned. Don't touch it. So here's what TWRA says. We need to further reduce the deer population and take out healthy numbers in order to slow down the spread of chronic wasting disease and blue tongue. It's already been proven you can't slow it down. But they want to kill more healthy deer that a lot of people around here rely on for food. And we can tell the difference between a healthy and a sick deer. By the time you take an animal apart, you know how healthy that animal is. You look at the heart, you look at the liver, you look at the kidneys, you know how healthy that animal is. We need to kill the healthy ones so that they can't catch it. What? Well, we don't want them to die of chronic wasting disease. So you're just going to kill them anyway? They're dead either way. So they're pushing paperwork now to try to get the right to go out and just mass kill white-tailed deer in the state of Tennessee, thinking somehow it will slow down this virus. No, it won't. It'll just find all the other deer. They're herd animals, you dumb butt. I know. See, it's insane. It's like, excuse me? Excuse me? How long did you go to school? So I'm just like, whoa, the logic there is like completely missing, right? Yeah. So that's their determination to stop chronic wasting disease and blue tongue in the white-tailed deer population. We're going to kill them so they can't spread it. Why do you want to kill them so they won't spread it? So that we can have a healthy population. But you're killing them all. We won't have a population. And the ones that are still there will still catch this disease, like at least 34% of them, because that's like the going rate right now. It's going to spread no matter how many we have. It's going to spread at the same ratio. So why do you want to mass kill like a third of Tennessee's white-tailed deer population? Sorry, but I don't think the Virginianus odocaleus is very happy about that. Okay, that's a genus species of white-tailed deer. Virginianus odocaleus. Stupid thing stuck in my brain. But that's the logic of the government we're working with right now. Oh, they could potentially get sick and die? Well, let's just kill them. But they're healthy. They're healthy deer, and probably 70% are going to be fine. And a lot of people in the state live on what they hunt in hunting season. And we know a sick deer from a healthy deer. We understand how to identify that. We just can't take the risk of losing our deer population. So we just need to go ahead and mass kill them. Gee, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds familiar to something else, doesn't it? Woo! So it's horrible. Well, I don't live in an area where we have like factory farm animals. I still live in an area where we have a lot of land, and the only thing that really gets butchered is like a 2-year-old steer, because they keep their heifers and cows and they rotate their bulls with their neighbors. And so I'm not in like a farm production thing. But that's like saying, okay, we've got 1,000 head of cattle right here fixing to slaughter to feed America. 2 of them have snotty noses. Let's just kill them all. That doesn't make any sense. The other ones look healthy. Well, they could potentially get ill. Let's just go ahead and kill them all. Wow. Go read up on what the TWRA is trying to pass right now. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. This is under the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Yes, go look it up. They're trying to pass this law to where they can get approval to go out and mass kill the white-tailed deer population. Yes, the white-tailed deer population. Because chronic wasting disease is taking out about 12 to 27%. Now, normally, like out west, it's like at 34%. But we don't want it to spread. So we just need to go ahead and kill all the deer. That sounds like 2 things in history I can remember. One of them was the AIDS epidemic. and the other one just recently happened. Be careful how they treat the animals, because at the end of the day, you are just another pig in a poke. If you see any kind of tumors on their face, if their face is misshapen or swollen, if they're going in circles, if they're holding their head at a cock, if they have a swollen tongue, that is what you need to look for blue tongue. Neurological issues, they walk in circles or hold their head at a cock, and they'll often move their head in funny ways. It almost looks like rabies, but actually they're drawn to water. So lots of times you'll find lots of dead ones near water when it sweeps through. Now, we've had actually really healthy populations in our area. We don't see a whole lot of it. But they're trying to create a whole lot of fear about it because they want justification to eradicate a large number of the population so that people don't have a external extra food source, other than Walmart and, whatever they're bringing you, whatever they're 3D printing these days. I can't believe that would be a remedy. That's like saying, oh, the flu is getting really bad and it's hitting the Southeast really bad, so we need to go ahead and kill about 2.5 million so that it won't get it doesn't make sense. Like, it's the most irrational thought pattern I've ever heard in my life. And this is a government agency being told, basically, exterminate these healthy animals and this food source for a lot of people that live in this rural area. Oh, yeah, you can tell when they have CWD. I mean, you can tell it's a neurological issue. They will, it shows. But even then, people that routinely eat out of the woods, once you butcher an animal, you look like the first thing you do is you look at the mucosal glands, you look at the eyes, you look at the ears, you look for mites, ticks, you look for any kind of tumors on the body, you gut them, you look at the guts, you look at the internal organs, you look at the kidneys, you look at the lungs, you look at the heart, you look at the bladder. You want to see how healthy this animal is before you eat it. That is something that every hunter should know how to do. But why kill healthy animals? And in a state where it's not even as prominent as out west. Out west is not taking these drastic measures, and they're actually seeing some gains in dealing with it their way. But Tennessee just wants to up and kill a whole bunch of deer. Do you know at Cades Cove, they used to do like draw hunts and let certain people come in and keep the population healthy. And there used to see massive bucks and really healthy deer at Cades Cove. When I was little in like 4th through like 7th grade, you could go and see massive bucks and beautifully healthy, fat, big deer with big necks and rut and healthy. And then this one deer they called Streamer that was like, he was like the mascot for Cades Cove. He got poached, which is wrong. Poachers are idiots. I can't stand them. He got poached. And it created such an uproar that to keep the people that were against poaching satiated, under the cover of night, they went in and eradicated like 80% of their deer population. So you don't want the poachers mad because one got poached, but you're not going to tell them that you're going to eradicate 80% of the herd to deter more poaching. That just made you the poacher. Don't you think if they find out that you did that? You really? Really? And now they've got like a completely au naturel hands-off approach to where now there's so many that's, it's come back because all the deer want to live there because, there's a lot of food there. Well, so they all come, and then the herd grows too big again because they overbreed and overpopulate. Well, they've got a hands-off approach now. No, we don't touch the wildlife. We just let them live naturally. And do you know that about every 7 years they have to go through the fields with wagons and pick up the carcasses of dead deer that have starved to death? So there is something to say for healthy management, but why would you eradicate like a whole population out of fear of something you don't even know is true? Honey, I used to work with pigs, and I worried about brucellosis in pigs. People was terrified of this C word that come around, Look up brucellosis in pigs. Look it up. And how it transmits over to humans and what it does. Now, that'll give you nightmares. Has anybody ever had a woo scary moment about that? No. No, somebody was on the internet telling everybody that they were going to die of Candida auris. That's a yeast infection. But people didn't know what it meant, so they were freaking out. It's a yeast infection. Your body naturally grows yeast. It can get out of balance. I would, recommend probably, you need to talk to a doctor, but I would recommend, apple cider vinegar tablets or just, a shot of apple cider vinegar every day. And maybe diluting some tea tree oil and using it as a topical, being very careful, about how much carbs and sweets and sugars you intake. But they were freaking everybody out. We're going to die of Candida auris. Make you scratch yourself in public, too. You better watch out. Yeah, you showed me that. I went on and read about it, and I was like, geez, oh, Pete. Yeah, he was saying it was a 60% death rate. Listen, I've had 2 kids, okay? Let me tell you about what indoor plumbing for us women is like, okay? It's a pain in the butt. And if you get the least little bit off kilter, here comes the bread factory. He had every woman freaking out, thinking if they had a yeast infection, they were going to die. And I'm sitting here going, Myconazole, Monistat 7, go to the doctor and get fluconazole in a pill form. Tea tree oil diluted and put in a pad. Wear a pad. That'll help deter it. Apple cider vinegar. That'll take the yeast out of your system. A good, healthy probiotic every day. Yogurt. Sourdough's trendy right now. And I was like, the most dangerous thing is going to make you scratch yourself in public, and then you'll get a sex offense, and you'll have to wear an ankle monitor. I'm a retired parole officer. I have a morbid sense of humor. Sorry. I just thought that was crazy, and these people were like going crazy, like, "Oh my God, a new issue!" And oh my God, I'm like, "Oh Jesus, read a book." Can we just rerun Reading Rainbow? That at least catches up by 10%. Just rerun Reading Rainbow. If you're 40 or above, or 40 or below, please watch it. If you're 40 or above, it's optional, but you probably remember it. But can we just replay Reading Rainbow everywhere? That would help a lot. Or the Magic School Bus. Anybody ever remember the Magic School? I learned more from the Magic School Bus than I think I did school. But we don't have these shows anymore, and people grow up stupid, and if they can't Google it, they don't know it. They don't have any lore. They don't have any knowledge of the land they live in. They don't have any plant. They don't even know the etymology of words they use. But we're supposed to be the most sparkling society ever. Sparkling, we cause a lot of gas, the vapors in our head. It's just really, really, really weird. My eyebrows are non-existent. When I was a parole officer, I got caught in a riot, and they emptied 3 cans of the Max OC pepper spray, and we all, like 5 of us had chemical pneumonia, 5 of the CEOs, because when they initiate lockdown, we were all in a tiny room. It's 25 minutes before they can unlock the doors. And after that time and breathing that in for 25 minutes, 5 of us had chemical pneumonia and were hospitalized. And they took my rag over. They gave me a rag to put over my eyes to cool the eyes because I was so swollen. I looked like a droopy dog and everything was draining. I've been pepper sprayed a few times because you have to be pepper sprayed at the police academy. But I had never had 3 cans emptied in a small room and had to inhale it for 25 minutes. It's a whole different can of worms. And somehow I had rubbed off most of my eyebrows. This one in particular over here has still got a little cut in it, And so I tell everybody that's my gang-affiliated eyebrow. But no, I don't have very many eyebrows. I used to have very pretty arched eyebrows. And after that, no, that ruined them. And still to this day, if I pass certain smokes or I eat things with certain types of pepper, my mucosal glands will just start over again. And it's like, dang it. And that's been a while. And it's still to this day will cause me problems. And I'm like, man, the guy they pepper sprayed was running around naked screaming because he was hurting. And I was like, listen, if he gets probation, I'm not taking him. I know way too much about him now. It's not happening. Because I did parole and probation. I also did sex offender supervision and ICOTS, which is interstate compact, so state to state transfer. So yeah, so I don't have eyebrows. Thank you for noticing. I bought the stamp kit because Just Jen recommended it. I haven't gotten brave enough to use it yet. I'm thinking I'm just rocking like those early 90s Madonna-esque, you know, when she plucked them to death for that little while. I'm stuck in that phase right now, you know, and they don't want to grow back because the skin is so damaged from the burns. So what you gonna do about it? You know, is what it is. I think there are a lot more important things in life than eyebrows, but hey, you might die of Candida auris. You know that? You might want to be careful. Oh my gosh. There's someone that's going to research Candida. At least I got a laugh today. I started out really in a bad mood. Lord have mercy. Hey, listen, you gotta laugh at things. You know, I've been in such, you know, I had a heart issue at the first of the week just from stupid people causing stress, and now it's just like the world's foobarred. Want to know why? Because we're all stupid. Nobody opens books anymore. You remember Shaka's over. It is. And I've noticed because I have the dying dialect of Appalachia, it twangs. And which don't tell me I don't speak English, because I speak the Scots-Irish English that's just like 2 generations from the crown that came over here and settled this place. It's a dying dialect. I've had linguistic professors record me and other people because they're like, you have like the oldest, truest form of the old English that came over. I'm speaking the Queen's English. I don't know what y'all are talking about. So, I mean, hey, what can I say? But I always get funny. People are like, you talk funny. It's called a dialect. You have one too. Whether you hear it or not, you have one too. If you live in certain areas, you will have a dialect. I used to work for a Puerto Rican man. I can understand most Spanish speaking individuals, but the Puerto Rican dialect I'm really good at. And other ones, I'm like, wait, what? I didn't catch that. But Puerto Rican, because I worked for that little Puerto Rican man, I'm good at that. So, but well, most people hate my accent. Kids seem to love it. It rocks them right to sleep. But most people want to say I'm ignorant. But I had my master's in psychology. I worked in forensic psychology with the Department of Corrections. I supervised murderers, mostly the violent male offenders, murderers, sex offenders. I did interstate compact for other states that had to send their violent males to Tennessee. And I would still be working there had I not developed a neuromuscular disorder from an incident where I was a wilderness camp counselor when I was younger and I was attacked with an axe. I got the other 13 kids safe and the female counselor safe, and I had to like get in between him and them to save them. And he attacked me with the axe. So that started a lot of leg surgeries, a lot of issues. Ended up with an issue with my nerve impulses. So I have a diseased nervous system. It's spreading. It's taking over my organs. It will eventually kill me. It's the slowest terminal disorder ever. So I've gotten on the slowest roller coaster of death ever. That would be me. That is my luck. I'm going to have a talk with Jesus about that one day. But you know, it is what it is. I've done a lot of good with my life before this crapped me out and my organs started getting really in on it. And now I'm home. I have good days. I have bad days. Not having a good health week. I had some heart issues at first of the week. I have had a lot of stress this week. And I get on here and I talk things through. And sometimes I say things that some people like to go and research and they learn about. I will almost always teach you something, and I like it when y'all teach me something back. We do have a lot of trolls, however. But that's just what it is. Yeah, I've had a super intense life. I worked before that when I was 13, 14, and 15. I cut the base trails for a place called East Fork Stables, one of the biggest trail riding facilities in the Southeast. My dad was a blacksmith. My mom was a teacher. My dad was also a preacher, straight and narrow. And I shod horses with my dad. I unloaded and loaded his anvil. I shawed the back end. He worked on the front ends. I worked with cattle. I bought the Brook Show cattle, and I'm a great farm hand. I can fix you hydraulics on your tractor. Ask me to draw eyebrows. No, I can't do it. But if your hydraulics on your tractor are messed up, I'm your girl. There are just certain skills I think are more important than fake eyebrows. That's just where I am on that topic. So I have the iambic pentameter of the Scots Irish, and I will throw in old words or old phrasings like we still call bags pokes. So I'll be like, I'll come back from Walmart, and I'll be like, hey, honey, I left a couple pokes in the Jeep. Will you go get it? He'll go get the bags in the Jeep. We still call some babies bairns. A lot of it comes in with the livestock. We still call the livestock the way they call it, over in Scotland. Now, I know we don't do the angelic, glorious women's voices that do it. It's just the old soot cow call that the Irish used. I'm half Cherokee. My mother's native blood, so I'm half Irish, half Cherokee. That shows up right here when I don't feel good. That's where the Cherokee shows up right here. It's dark. So I do a lot of native art. I make ceremonial sticks and rattles and stuff for the tribes for community and ceremonial things. I do a lot of, my husband's a trapper and tanner, so I do a lot of bone and teeth jewelry. I stay busy as much as my body will let me. And other than that, I try to take it day by day because it's really like MS. So some days I wake up and I function, and some days I wake up and I don't. So it's a weird life. It's a very weird life. So, but I've been on here yapping for way too long. But I'm trying to work through some irritation I've had this week. I'm a talker. I talk through stuff. I'm a retired parole officer and counselor, and so I talk through these things, and I'm trying to understand some really big, like, dipshit moments has happened to me this week from other people. And I'm really trying to process. I'm really trying to understand. And the one thing I figured out is that if I truly understand it, the disrespect and idiocy that was put into it is going to make me a very unhappy person. But I have something important coming up this weekend for the channel, and it's going to be a woman with a lot of information. And I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to try to pick her apart so that hopefully she can express things and tell things in a less complicated manner so that you all can compost it. Never believe anything that anyone tells you on the internet, even me. Research everything. You better be doing your own research or you're going to get Candida auris. I'm sorry. I just found that so funny. But I've got an interview coming up this weekend that is going to be astonishing. Like, professors at colleges and scientific journals have tried to get her. And she's like, no, I'm lucky that she's my friend. And she trusts me to be the devil's advocate and pick her apart with questioning. And we're going to do that for y'all this weekend. She's coming in because I've had a heart issue this week, and she wants to visit and see me. And we've been trying to get this together for a while. And I said, I don't care if I'm sick. If you're here, let's just do this. Let's just get it done. So, yeah, my Gypsy's on it today. She's great. The trolls, listen, the trolls are just... when you walk through a beautiful park and then you see a piece of trash and you're like, gee, this would have been a beautiful place without that one piece of trash. That's a troll. And I feel sorry for most of them because they're very lonely and they don't have anyone else to talk to. They don't feel secure in this world. And so their defensive posturing they put on the internet because they don't have anyone else physically that they can banter with and learn how to communicate and have a dialogue and understand your emotions that you're feeling. You can control those. You just need to learn coping mechanisms and understand where you fit in society. Your spatial awareness is not where it needs to be for your age. You can work on that. You can fix that. I don't want anyone to sit at home and feel like they're not loved and empty, but you can't go online and act like a poo-flinging monkey and expect to be respected. You look like a 3-year-old. you know. I had one show up in my chat the other night and say, give me a wrench, give me a wrench. And I said, I would not make you a mod, and I wouldn't give a toddler a flamethrower. There are just certain things in life you don't do. And he left immediately. But it's, you can tell how society's going by the trolls. And even though because I'm disabled, I appreciate this platform. It's not where you should get your primary contact with people. You should have a support system where you see real people, you really interact, you get an energy swap, you charge each other's batteries, you feel loved, you have that connection. That's what society is, and that's where the biggest bang for your buck comes from. That's what people need. But we've gotten so used to seeing people through this box that we don't believe the other person at the other end is real, so we can treat them any way we want to. Well, okay, go to the coffee shop around the corner and try that in real life. Probably won't work that well. So we've got like 2 generations that were raised with absolutely no boundaries, because they believe that anything they say is worth putting on a platform, and that they can call anybody anything, and they don't think it hurts anybody because they don't see the emotional ramifications. So we have really let down our last 2 generations, and they are really scuzzbuckets for it, just to be quite honest. And we've got a lot of, we've got a lot of recompense coming as a society, but we also need to fix a lot. And we're not going to fix it unless we really start looking at our younger kids and making them understand what a community is again and how to interact. I know it's scary how many kids have iPads and can go watch God knows what. Okay, I'm having an issue with Facebook, and me and Facebook we're not on good terms right now, because I can quote a government website and share it and get in trouble. But when I open up my Facebook, I can basically see PORN. And when I try to report it, they tell me it doesn't violate community standards. I call Mark Zuckerberg. I call him Zuckerberg. I just replaced the Z with an F. That is what I think about that man. Now, I'm blunt. That's what I think about that man. There ain't no pussyfooting around with me. That's what I think about that man. So we're having some big issues in this world right now, and most of them are self-created. Like, humanity did this to itself. It was ushered in with a plan, but then we said, "Oh, that's a great idea. Y'all, let's keep doing this." And now we've gotten to the point of, but how do we untrain this behavior? Well, it takes a lot of time. It takes a very stern hand. It takes consequences. And if you were on my parole caseload, I would tell you, please do not go out and get new charges, because I will do a warrant. That will be your consequence. In the land of parole, consequences rarely come lubricated. They hurt. Please do not make me do 8 to 15 pieces of paper for a warrant, because I don't enjoy it any more than you do. And they would all be like, what did she just say? But I had an 84% success rate. But it was because I dealt with the root of the problem. I just didn't babysit offenders. I said, when did you start doing this? What age? Were you impressionable? Was there an issue with your family? Did you have a male role model? And you would find out a lot about people. And when we started talking about that, you would open up doors that they would emotionally step through and heal. I've got some that do musical ministry now. I've got one that is a songwriter that is in songwriting competitions. He writes the most beautiful songs about overcoming addiction and overcoming like anger. He's gorgeous. I mean, his voice is butter. And everybody was terrified of him because he was 6'4" and had like 20 aggravated assaults. But it was because he was 6'4", and people thought he was mean, so they would approach him in a very mean manner, and he would just have to be like, protect himself. I call him Ferdinand the Bull. Actually, I call him Pantene because he had really pretty long hair, and I was trying to poke the bear to see how easily aggravated he was, because I had to get to know him to supervise him. And I said, how'd you get this pretty hair? I said, I can't even grow pretty hair like that. And he was like, oh, no, I use whatever shampoo Mom puts in the bathroom. I don't know what it is. I said, well, try to think. I said, because I really think I need to buy the shampoo. And I was trying just to irritate him to see how he'd respond to me. And he goes, I think it starts with a P. And I was like, Pantene? He's like, yeah, Pantene. And I grinned really big. And he went, oh, no. because he knew I gave my caseload. I never called them a Thomas number because you're a human being. I'm going to call you a name or I'm going to give you a nickname. I'm not going to call you a number. You're a human being. I'm going to treat you like a human being. I nicknamed him Pantene. And to this day, even though he's had to cut his hair for work and stuff, I still call him Pantene. And he just grins and laughs and goes on. And do you know that he has come to like 3 youth state homes and talked to the boys, the aggressive boys there, and been like, don't go down the road I went down. Don't do this. And he has done presentations and speaking engagements with 3 state homes for youth in this area, just as a favor to me. And, you know, the treasures I found in what society had discarded and the crap I found in what society thought was high and mighty. It's unsettling what I saw as a parole officer, especially within our justice system. That it sounds really weird to call it that now. Really weird. But anyway, I've talked enough. I've had stuff that's been simmering on the stove. It's done. I need to get my husband's lunch packed and stuff for work. So, yes, he's a big sweetie. He's Ferdinand the Bull. He's such a sweetie pie. Such a sweetie. And I share his music on here quite a bit. So if you go back and look, you'll probably see. I made a video about, and I put when God used Pantene, and everybody was like, what the crap kind of name for a video is that? But then they watched the video and they realized I called him Pantene. And God uses him now to, you know, to talk to thousands of young adults and teens that are struggling. So I'm really proud of him. Well, I've got some of his songs. If you go back through my videos, if you search when God used Pantene, it'll pop up. And that's one of his first songs. His voice is much better now. And matter of fact, he did a song 2 days ago that really was good. But I've been going through so much. I wanted to record it and share it because he tells me I can share whatever I want. But then I had all this crap hit the fan in my home, and I was like, I got distracted. So I may go back and do that. That would probably be a good way to calm me down for the rest of the day, is to remember some of the good things that have occurred in my life and people that I've helped. So that I may go back and share that. But his voice has matured so much. And I've got a bonus child that sings in a rock band. I've got another bonus child that sang with the Nashville Tenors for a couple of years. He was in the world tour, the 25th or 50th anniversary rant. What was it? But it was the world tour. And I've got a lot of really talented friends. And somehow in 2016, I met Peter Freestone at a Queen convention, North American Queen Convention. And he had locked himself out of his room, and I kind of saved him from a horde of people that was trying to like attack because he's moderately famous, you know. And I was like, here, jump in here, come here, jump in here. And he was like, thank you so much. And I was like, not a problem. I was like, why are they running after you? It don't start till 3. It's just 1:30. You ain't even on the clock. Why are they bugging you? And he was like, I really like you. And I was like, I've seen a lot of your discussions that you have about Queen and Freddie. And I was like, I like the way you talk about Freddie and how you keep things alive and stuff. And I said, I find you very calming and soothing. He's like, well, thank you. We hit up, we check on each other at least once a week. He wrote the most beautiful letter to my granddaughter when she was born a year and a half ago, to let her know that the day she was born, someone halfway across the world was rejoicing, and to know that she was rejoiced all around the globe that day. And I thought, how beautiful, how kind of him to do that. When I'm in the hospital, he'll video call me and schmooze the nurses. And they're like, you know somebody famous? And I'm like, well, I mean, he's just my friend. But he was like, yeah, I guess he's famous. But and they will take better care of me. I think he does that for that reason. But he's been a very huge supporter for me in my health and stuff. And he's had his own health issues here lately. And so we kind of help each other. But sweetest man. He's a beautiful soul, one of the nicest people. I don't know how. I mean, God was working that day for me to bump into him and create this friendship, because the music of Queen got me through a lot as a teenager. I didn't even know who I was listening to because the tapes were worn off. I didn't know who I was listening to. I just knew it was magical, and it transported me away from everything that was wrong at the moment. And I only found out when the internet finally came to my high school, because I'm from Podunk. I Googled the lyrics and realized I'd been listening to Queen for 3 years. And so I was all excited because I was, as a kid, you just want to thank people and you want to write this huge letter that's going to make it to this person and thank them for, what they've done for you. And then I scrolled the screen up and found out that Freddie had passed 3 months prior. I went home a broken child that day because there was the man that his voice had gotten me through so much, and I was never going to be able to say thank you. Never. I did get to see them live in Nashville in 2017 or 18, whichever year they came through, and I knew where Brian's pedal board was, so I got tickets in front of Brian's pedal board front row. Had a really good friend that went with me, and I mean, she kind of made it all happen, but I knew where his pedal board was, and I was like, this is where we need to be. And I was 7 foot from Brian May playing his guitar, and a friend that was up in like the nosebleed section zoomed in and took a picture, and I'm down there like, it's so stupid. I'm like, yeah, I'm an idiot just like everybody else. I get awestruck. It was nice to see, because when I listened to them, they might as well have been fictional characters that were just created in my mind to help me through some of the trauma I was going through. And then to see them know they're real and meet somebody that knew Freddie, and to be able to tell him my biggest regret is that I never knew who I was listening to early enough to get a letter to the fan club to tell him thank you. Because Jackie at the fan club totally would have passed it along. Jackie's amazing. If you know Jackie at the fan club, she's amazing. And so that was like, and the song that shaped my life was Is This the World That We Created by Queen. That's the song that shaped my life. That song makes me want to be a better person and really change the world. And so I get frustrated when there are things that I can change and just societal ignorance gets in the way. I get really frustrated, and I'm trying to work on that. But I do believe in some ways we need to be frustrated more often, because we've let a whole lot slip and slide, and that's how we got here. So guess who's back? Back again. I had to. Sorry, my brain doesn't work like normal people's brains. I saw that and I had to do that. Sorry. Oh, yeah. I'm going slightly mad. It's hilarious. I mean, and to think that, okay, I asked why he did that last These Are the Days of Our Lives. I asked Phoebe. I call him Phoebe. Her name's Peter Freestone, and you can go to Peter Freestone Official and check him out. He's got a new book out. He writes the best books. He has a great recipe book of recipes he made for Freddie, because he worked for Freddie for like the last 12 years of his life. But he's got a new book out, but you can go check him out there. But I asked Phoebe, I was like, why did he do that last video? Because he looked, bless his heart, he looked really bad. And he goes, because the last video they had done, he was a freaking balloon cartoon figure. And he was like, I will not be remembered as a freaking balloon cartoon figure. And he said that's why he did the last video, and as a thank you to his fans, and as a way to say goodbye. And I thought, okay. He said, but he really did not want to be remembered as a balloon figure. And I was like, got it. Yeah, he was of the Zoroastrian faith, his mother and father. But do you know, the really strange thing is that at his memorial, he picked You've Got a Friend in Me and Hold My Hand, Hold My Hand, Precious Lord, Lead Me On, that song. Those are the two songs that he chose to have played at his memorial. And I asked Phoebe, I said, did he look into other religions? And he goes, yeah, all the time. All the time. But he followed his parents' wishes, in the death rituals of the Zoroastrian faith. You would not believe the things that I've learned. And being a little girl living in Appalachia, and you write a sophomore thesis paper for your English teacher where you compare Alfred Lord Tennyson and then the music of Queen, and you make such a compelling argument that she looks at you and she goes, what are you? And I'm like, I don't know. Don't have a clue. So, but I love to read about other people's religions, because my thought on religion is I don't think any of us get it right. I think we all have our own personal higher accountability relationship with that higher accountability that we seek. And it's very important to have that, because if you don't, then get kind of self-detrimental there. But I think that all the tributaries kind of lead to the same ocean. So, and the biggest important thing is that personal relationship with that higher spiritual accountability, and knowing that you're not the end all be all and the most important thing. And I used to tell people, I don't care if you pray to your cat booger, as long as you're praying and holding yourself accountable to something higher than you. Because when you think that you're it, that's when the bad creeps in and the ego creeps in and detrimental thought patterns begin. And it's really sad, but psychologically, that's what occurs. Your middle name is your grandpa's. Well, my grandpa's name was Elsie, and I was almost named Elsbeth. But they chose to go with Elizabeth. So yeah, keeping yourself accountable is the most important thing and the hardest thing to do at the same time. But it's the thing that has been out of style for long enough that we're starting to see the ramifications. that would be awesome. Oh, I like the way you think. Serendipitous one. That's 49er for life. You're asking me if I'm gay and you like the 49ers? Did you think about that question? Don't make it easy for me, people. Don't make it easy for me. I like to listen to Queen too, but I'm going to tell you the worst sin that you can ever commit is to put Queen 2 in a CD player and push shuffle. Don't do it. It's the worst sin you can commit. You got to listen to it as it was made. You cannot listen to it on shuffle. So you got to listen to Queen 2 as it was made. Because if you put it on shuffle, the world comes unhinged. And I'm like, what is this madness? I was singing Ogre Battle the other day, and my husband was like, what are you singing? And then the other day, I was singing Fairyfeller's Masterstroke, and he was like, what are you talking about? I said, actually, William Shakespeare, and this real story. He goes, I don't want to know. And I said, can I get 2 cats and name them Oberon and Titania? He goes, no. And I went, crap. So I like a lot of music, and I'll even throw in bluegrass, because that's what I was raised on. But I'm more of a metal rock, but I'm lyric driven too. But like the other day, I have one neighbor, and her son pulled in on his motorcycle with his wife behind him, and apparently, I don't know if she wasn't sitting on the bitch seat right or what. I don't know what was wrong, but they were having a domestic. And I opened the door to kind of look my head sideways, kind of as say, I don't appreciate this. And they didn't notice me, but he told her she was crying like a little bee. And I went in my head and went, oh, that's a Godsmack song. So I queued up on my Google Godsmack's Crying Like a, and put the thing in the window and blasted it. And they decided they should take their domestic inside. I have one neighbor, and I swear it's punishment. That's like, that's what I'm meant to wade through as like to repent for probably some of my behaviors. I like some death metal. I like some hard stuff. I think the best redo of a Queen, like one of the weirder songs, is Testament's redo of Dragon Attack. And that was really good. In Australia, they have a Killer Queen group that's, they have all these tribute bands, but they're really good. John Blunt, he was the one that played Freddie in the documentary, but he's the lead singer of that tribute band in Australia. Sweetest man, nicest guy you'll ever meet. He sent me an autographed photo postcard from Australia. Sweetest guy you'll ever meet. Just cheerful all the time. And he really loves the music of Queen too. So he's really, I like that he does what he does because he really loves the music. Metallica's awesome. I could listen to Unforgiven 50,000 times, but I could also listen to Sanitarium like 500,000 times. So I understand that completely. But I'm from the era of Metallica, GNR. When Chris Cornell went through all of his, I'll listen to Chris Cornell. If he was reading the phone book, I would listen. Matter of fact, I've got his signature on my arm when he passed away, because he signed his signature. If you look at Chris Cornell's signature, Chris Cornell on my arm. I've got Freddie on my arm. I've got Freddie's signature on my arm. I've got a bird for everybody that passed away on my caseload. And I have a big portrait of Freddie up here, but my arm's too big for my shirt to get up there. But yeah, I'm a huge music fan. Music psychologically has been shown to make room to process pain. So music is, it's a great thing. Chris Cornell, when I got the news about him, I was broken because he was doing such great things. Like, really, he was doing such great things. I would love to have seen the actual Wembley Stadium. And when my friend went to watch she walked the purple carpet to watch the first screening of Bo Rap over there, she was frustrated because she was like, you know, it was Wembley, but it wasn't Wembley. And she was like, she was frustrated, but she had a good time. So I love, like, I'm a huge nerd. Well, I don't have any close neighbors except for that one. And it's like, that is like my punishment. I swear that's what is punishment. That's all it is punishment. But they normally leave me alone and shut up real quick. But I thought, since, you know, he reminded me of a Godsmack song, I would just remind him that he reminded me of a Godsmack song. But they took it as, we better take our domestic inside. And I thought, yes, thank you. So it worked really well. Well, I've got like a little horseshoe of land around me with a creek and a swamp. And if I own that one other lot, because we bought lots and bought more land, and we're in between a bunch of farmland. It's like they tried to start a little subdivision in between a bunch of farmland they carved up, but it didn't quite work. And if we owned that one lot, we would have a full horseshoe and own the whole end of the road. But I'll never be that lucky. Honestly, I'll never be that lucky. So, okay, well, I'm going to pack my husband's lunch and get him ready to go. But I'm just going to say, I'll try to share some of my of Pantene's music in a video, but you're probably not going to see much of me over the next couple of days because I'm prepping for my friend's arrival and the interview that's going to occur. It's going to be very important. I hope that you all are able to catch the live. We're going to try to do it Saturday or Sunday, hopefully Saturday. I hope that y'all can catch the live. If not, I hope that YouTube will let it stay up long enough so that you can catch a replay. It's going to be very important. And if you want to prep for this interview, you can go to the Odyssey platform, the ODYSEE. They have to screw everything out anyway. And go to the Synergy channel, PSINERGY. And that will give you a hint of what you're fixing to learn and who I'm going to try to play devil's advocate with so that we can break it down and understand it at a less complex level so that it's more digestible for the normal people. You know, because all our brains cannot be spot on like that one. I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing. Sometimes she says stuff and it takes me 3 days to research it out. And then I'm like, wow, I'm dumb. And I'm not dumb by any means, but I feel it when I have to chase her intellectually. It makes me feel really stupid sometimes. So if I can set it ahead of time, I will, so that you all will get a notice and have, you know, a few hours, if not a half a day's notification. It all depends on her arrival and when we can get stuff set up. So that's what it depends on. But I will try my best to do a notification for you all. Yeah, see, you have, yeah, my neurosynaptic, they just stall when she starts talking, and I'm like, dang it, I have to watch it like 4 times. But I will say I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and that's what it's all about. So I hope y'all join us. Even the trolls might learn something. So come back and join us. She'll be here in a couple days. I hear my husband, I'm going to pack his lunch. He's got to go to work. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll see you soon. And I'll share music very quickly. Bye, guys. I hate this button. They moved it.